It's time to test your luck as we are here in Sin City for race number 4 of the NAISCC Race Car Graveyard Truck Series. We are here to see if drivers have the testing skills and also can thrive here tonight. It is going to be a lot of close racing and practically super speedway racing at our mile-and-a-half Las Vegas Motor Speedway for the Cosmic Kandles Co. 187. My name is Sam Dyer, and with me is Zach Hall. Zach, this track is kind of something that we're excited for. It's your typical cookie-cutter D-shaped mile-and-a-half course, but at the same time, this is going to be a handful of a race for these drivers.
Oh, yes, it is. Normally this racetrack here, you do see a little bit more spread out action because, that mile-and-a-half typical stuff, that we don't see at super speedways. But here with this truck, very much so a wide open fest. These drivers are going to be able to stay wide open for majority of the opening laps, most likely having to lift here early due to dirty air and being in traffic. So all night they're going to have to manage where they're at, which line they're picking, which line goes. It's one of those tough things here at this track with it being a mile-and-a-half. Like, there's not much space to get that work done, unlike a super speedway where you have so much space to be able to go 3 and 4 wide. Here tonight, I expect to see that 3 and 4 wide moments, but they could come at a much bigger consequence.
That they certainly can, and with the consequences of possibly big ones happening, as this course is going to act kind of like a super speedway, drivers have been notified. There has been added a new rule, the ARCA brake rule, where if drivers see an incident in front of them and they do not slow down and they go in and cause more carnage, they can be penalized with either a drive-through penalty, a warning at first, then they could be penalized with a black flag penalty, and if they get a second penalty or be seen deeming with a second or third time, could be a race suspension. Zach, this is something we've talked about for these first 3 races, seeing a lot of drivers coming in and causing a lot more carnage after the initial wrecks. I think this is a great call to try to help these drivers out.
Yeah, I think me and you have been a broken record with that all season long, talking about after the replays, just watch people pile in and continue to create more of a mess. So great addition to the rule book there. We'll see if that helps clean up drivers. I always say, the best way to make stuff not happen on the racetrack is take stuff away from the drivers and make rules like that will affect them. They'll definitely be thinking about that in the back of their head now as they see a wreck. So hopefully that is what initiates, less collisions as a wreck happens in front of them.
And drivers on track getting ready for this course, and been seeing everyone trying to utilize drafting, as you see on screen, teammates. That is Thomas Green and also Jared Talmadge trying to utilize a little bit of teamwork and drafting with one another, and we're going to be seeing a lot of that here tonight. But before we get even further into our racing action, got to give big thanks to all of our sponsors, starting things off with that of Track Racer, Refined Gaming. Track Racer, if you're looking to get cutting-edge designs, also just get the best equipment out there for any type of rig, racing rig, flight simulators, even monitor stands, as well as a steering wheel partnering with that of the SimCube. Track Racer has everything you need. If you're trying to finish your rig build or just start to create a rig today, that's going to be Track Racer that has you covered. And if you would like to get a discount code, go to NAISCC on Facebook, PM them, they can get you a link for a discount code, and they can get you started with Track Racer, Refined Gaming, as well as the title sponsor for that of the NAISCC Truck Series, Race Car Graveyard. If you're looking to get yourself into the diecast collection game, they are the best to start out with tons and lots of 1/4 ratios to 1/64 NASCAR diecasts. They've got it all available from brand new schemes, used, or if you'd like to even get custom schemes, they have you covered. And if you use the promo code RCGY, you can get yourself 10% off on your next purchase with that of Race Car Graveyard. Again, that is RCGY for 10% off. If you'd like to get more information, go onto Instagram and look at Race Car Graveyard and message them there. Thank you so much to Race Car Graveyard. And Zach, been watching it on screen. Drivers, pack racing, still practicing, and also a little bit of contact, which that's something we're going to be seeing a lot here tonight.
Yeah, contact is going to be something I think we say frequent and often tonight here at this racetrack. It's just going to be so much side-by-side action. I think we're going to have plenty to talk about. Hopefully, plenty of that action stays green, keep these tires rolling, don't see no yellows, because I think if we can get enough laps, the racing will really pick up from there, as you can see in the cars that soon here as practice comes to it. And now, all about putting that fastest time down to get yourself out front, because I tell you what, track position, again, we talked about it all season with this huge field. This is going to be critical tonight to get yourself out front and out of that mess.
And that's exactly what drivers are preparing for. Track position, qualifying, just starting now as drivers hitting the course and getting rolling. As we're getting drivers on track, you see the 00 of Ethan Smith going to be starting things off. And Zach, looking at some of the drivers and where they're going to be qualifying, there's actually 2 drivers so far this season that have continued to stay consistent with every single race so far. And those 2 drivers, John Forbes as well as Jarrett Talmadge, they're the only 2 drivers this season that have been able to finish in the top 10 in all 3 of our starting races. Question is, who's going to come in with consistency that we've seen from those 2 drivers? We already have 3 different winners that are above the 2 consistent ones, that being Vincent Sora that won at Rockingham, our second race of the season, Danny Cochran that won for our Daytona opener, and then last week's winner, James Loveland. All 3 of them with their wins are locked into the playoffs, but there's only 16 positions that can be collected, and already 3 spots have been filled. But I mean, it's going to be all about consistency, I think, from this point on.
Yeah, I think consistency, like you said, is going to be key. But that's a great stat to look there at Talmadge and just the top 10s that they've been able to accumulate through those first 3 weeks. And that kind of shows you it's all over the board right here now with this, with this group here of 36 trucks we have here tonight. It could be all over the place. Or drivers, last week, could have been up front. You could be stuck in the back this week in trouble. We'll just have to see who can clean up their consistency. Because like you said, 3 of those spots taken already from the 16. If we get another winner here tonight, that'll be 4. I mean, that's 12 spots, and that's where you start to worry as a driver if you haven't got a win.
Yeah, those wins going to be very important for these drivers. And we're coming up to a lot of very tough tracks after Las Vegas, as we're seeing that of Thomas Green topping the board. Coming after Las Vegas, we get to touch our first road course of the season, going to Lime Rock Park. That is a course that you rarely see, really, as it's something that's going to be new for me to see these drivers hit the course, but also excited to see how the trucks can attack Lime Rock Park.
No, you alluded to it, Sam. That's something really not many of us have ever seen before is, these drivers taking a truck like this to Lime Rock Park. And I've done a few laps around there, and it's going to be fun to watch that. I can't wait for that. The big thing for that track, I think, coming up is we talk about how many people are in this league is, wow, Morales jumps up the second there. Great time for him. But how many people are that are in this league? If we have 36 trucks next week, it's going to be calamity on that track with lap traffic and such. I cannot wait to get there. But first tonight, it's all about who's going to put it up front right now. Brandon Colley soaring that number 1 to the number 1 spot.
Brandon Colley, number 1 to the number 1 spot. Going to be 200s, almost 300s above that of Thomas Green, as a few other drivers trying to put on their time. Only 1 minute and 45 seconds left in qualifying. So if you want a shot to qualify up front, you got to hit the track now. Otherwise, we're going to be seeing drivers default to the back, which, as we're seeing that of Jarrett Talmadge on track currently in the 83. Zach, I mean, would starting in the back be a bad option here at Las Vegas?
It wouldn't be the worst. I personally would rather start out front or out back. Those are the 2 things. That area of 15th, 20th in that region of the middle part of the pack is where I have the most worry. That's where you got the most cars behind you, the most cars in front of you. So if something happens, you have a chance not only of getting into an incident in front of you, but also getting ran over from behind. So we'll have to see how that works out. If you're a driver that is, worried you'll be in that area, I think starting back there is not a bad idea. You could stay back there, miss the carnage, keep your truck nice and clean, and gain that track position as the night goes on.
Drivers slowly finishing up qualifying here as we're riding on board with the 66. This is Gregory Shaw on track. We've seen the 66 be very aggressive at times in this truck, and would not be surprised with the speed that he has if he could pick it up, be further up. Currently 32nd on the board for that of Gregory Shaw. And Zach, this is going to be interesting because we've only been having the truck series for the NAISCC league as a whole running until this past Saturday. The Cup series just started back up, and we've seen a couple of the truck drivers move up to the Cup and are going to be racing in both series. I'm wondering if any of the drama that we saw from Saturday is going to be coming over, or the drama that we see here on Monday might translate over to the Cup series on Saturday nights. It is going to be a fun season from here moving forward on how these drivers are going to be attacking one another.
Oh, that it is, man. It's going to be super fun to see if any of that transfers over here tonight. It's going to be fun stuff to watch here as it looks like qualifying has come to an end.
Qualifying's come to an end, and that means we got to get prepared for the starting results. That's sponsored by Hot Lap Designs. If you'd like to get any affordable schemes from that of Hot Lap Designs, they're the place to go. High quality custom paint schemes for driving suits as well as helmets, and for the cars, Hot Lap Designs has got you covered. Also, you can get any schemes from old NASCAR schemes, brand new ones that are coming out, or get custom ones that are made just for you, as well as you get schemes for any of the dirt tracks or asphalt or even road course cars. They've got you covered at Hot Lap Designs. Hot Lap Designs, we can do it. Zach, it's time to look at our starting results.
That it is there. Brandon Colley going to start up front on pole in that one machine. Alongside him is going to be the 3 of Thomas Green. Third is going to go to Martin Morales Jr. with a bomb of a lap there from him. Great stuff. Fourth's going to go to Mark Whitley there. Fifth's going to be Cody Reed in that 25 machine. Sixth's going to go to Tanner Johnson. Seventh's going to be Dakota Moniz. Eighth's Robert Schmock. Ninth's going to be our winner for Rockingham Vincent Sora. 10th's going to be Preston Cope. 11th place is going to go to Sean Huffstone in the 94 machine. 12th's going to be our winner from Daytona, Danny Cochran. 13th, Thomas Walter. 14th is going to go to Joshua Pike. 15th is Jarrett Talmadge trying to get another top 10. 16th, Aaron Kralik. 17th is going to go to Trevor Earhart. 18th is going to be Kyle Guildhouse. 19th, Jerry LeGrand. 20th is going to go to Jeffrey Stone. 21st, Christopher Norris. 22nd, Jesse Thornock. 23rd is going to go to Justin Starnes. 24th, Cody Dorsey. 25th is going to go to 19th, Tyler Dingler. 26th is Max Foner. 27th, John McAdam. 28th, Ethan Smith. 29th, Christopher Curick. 30th, going to go to John Forbes. 31st, Joshua Freed. 32nd, Gregory Shaw. 33rd, Carl Pooler. 34th is Alexander Light. 35th going to go to Kurt Schweizer. And 36th rounding out your field is Anthony Ludi, as 36 trucks look to do battle here tonight at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway.
Yeah, we're going to hope and see that all the drivers can log in, as Jeffrey Stone might have to start from pit road, disconnected right before the drivers started connecting in, and it looks like we'll be missing the start of this race. Pit road for the 18. Also, if the 12 of Ryan Ferraro logs in, he'll be finding himself starting on pit road as well. Up front, though, is Brandon Colley, who got the pole position. Thomas Green to his outside. Mark Morales Jr., like you noted on there, Zach, what a surprise by the 24 to be starting up in third.
Yeah, man, that was just an amazing lap for Martin. I see it pop up on the board, 24 to second there for a moment. I was immediately saying, wow, and only 1,000 a second. He was very close to getting that second spot, and at the moment being on pole position when it came in. But, man, I think that's great for Martin to see him start up front. I know he had a lot of practice here at Las Vegas through the past couple weeks here official. Maybe that's going to transfer over for Martin Morales here.
And for Mark Morales, starting in third. Fourth going to be Mark Whitley, who we've seen Mark Whitley plenty of times here on Free Fast Broadcasting, getting victories done like he did last night for SRU. Do want to also finish things off by saying thank you to Bocconi Setup Shop and ButtKicker. We'll touch on them more later on the broadcast, but up front, drivers are stacked up, getting ready to go. It's race number 4 of the NAISCC Race Car Graveyard Truck Series, as drivers are waiting and looming, as the pace truck is going to be ducking it down low. There he goes. Your Cosmic Candle 187 is green, as it's going to be that of Brandon Colley and Thomas Green trying to get going. And already it's going to be the 77 getting the bump to the 3 on the outside, but they're side by side heading into 1 and 2. But Zach, it is 2 wide up front, but 3 wide in the middle of the pack.
Oh, man, we had a major stack up there on the outside. Landon sure what truck that was, but he stacked everything up 3 wide from back there. And these drivers trying to sort it out here early in the going at Las Vegas. It's going to be very much like a super speedway track, not getting away from each other here early. Going to have to try to keep that track position.
Yeah, right now it's going to be Brandon Colley up front. Side by side is going to be for second. Martin Morales is going to be trying to make the pass, but it's the 1. And Brandon Colley leading lap number 1. And Zach, we touched on it before we went live. The question was, with how close these trucks are to one another, how long can we stay green? That's already a driver going to be sideways, losing ground, contact further back. It was going to be that of many drivers stacking up. Our first yellow, lap 2. And oh boy, we're starting off with a big one.
Oh yeah, that was a major incident there. I'll have to figure out exactly what truck that is. I believe it may have been Robert Schmock.
Yeah, it was Schmock. That was the first driver that initiated the 60 getting loose, and everyone else just trying to react. And once you try to react from an incident, when you're so jam-packed, there's nowhere to go. As you see the 60 initially get loose, make contact with that of Hutzstutler, and both trying to hold on. Hutzstutler is going to get overcorrect, so does Schmock. And I mean, Zach, at that point, there's nothing that a lot of these drivers can do because you're already kind of all committed to where you're going.
Yeah, that was just a racing incident I've ever seen it. The Schmock getting loose, getting into the quarter panel of Hutzstutler, and that's just a huge chain reaction. I see a lot of guys slowing down and paying attention to that arc and brake rule. But good job on those guys getting that slowed down. But man, it's just so unfortunate early in to go on lap 2 to already have major damage in a track like this where it's going to be pretty much wide open for majority of the run. You're going to need aerodynamics on your side.
Robert Schmock, after that incident, already is disconnected. Looks like he's going to be calling it a night early, even though these drivers do have a fast repair to work with. One is given to all the drivers, so if you get any type of damage, big or small, and you decide, you know what, I want to get this repaired instantly, you can get a completely brand new truck for yourself. As more drivers going into pit road get service done. Kyle Guildhouse going to be also stuck in pit road. But it's that middle of the pack you were touching on, Zach, that is the danger zone where we saw that incident even start out.
Yeah, that is the place where majority of the things happen. Back there, you're affected by so much. When you're running 15th and 20th in a field like this, you're trying to pay attention to everything going on around you, but you almost have to pay attention, 2 to 3 seconds up the road, because if an incident happens and you can't see it before the drivers around you do, you're going to collect them by not getting slowed down in time. So really, you got to have a lot of awareness when you're in those situations. It's just a really tough spot to be in as a driver, and you try to get out of it as soon as possible.
And honestly, it's one of those things where also, Zach, I would say tires might be also an issue on why we're seeing that loose condition for these drivers.
Yeah, that's definitely a cold tires situation. I don't think we'll see too many loose situations after the first couple laps just due to the heat getting built up. But, it is possible here as it starts to cool off a little bit. It's about 86-degree track chip right now as we're going into the sunset. That this track gains a little bit of speed, and maybe that's going to shift the balance to the looser side. Normally we gain grip with that, but it just matters which tires gain grip for that balance. So we'll see how it works out, but those cold tires, I think definitely the culprit on that right there.
Well, the lights seem to be still on, so driver's going to do another wave around, and as we wait to go green once again, do want to give a big thanks. We're going to give a touch on Makoni Setup Shop. Makoni Setup Shop, there are setups, but they're your victories. Makoni Setup Shop, getting some of the best setups out there on iRacing, anything from Legends to Cup cars, as well as on dirt. They've got you covered in setups, and if you'd like to get 10% off on Makoni Setup Shop setups, use the promo code FFB10 for 10% off. Again, that is FFB10 at Makoni Setup Shop for any setups that you would like to get there. But as well, Zach, they've got coaching that you can get from Makoni Setup Shop as well.
That they do, Sam. Great lessons over there from many great drivers and only $25 an hour, man. So it's a great place to head on over there. You can get lessons from Zach Novak, a previous Coca-Cola iRacing Series champion, and many more. You also got Jimmy Mullis, a winner there too. So on the oval side, they got lots of drivers, and I'm sure on the road side they do too.
And that is all at MakoniSetupShop.com just to get setups. And if you'd like to get their coaching for $25 an hour, go to MakoniSetupShop.com/coaching. Again, that's $25 per hour, coached by the drivers that are the best out there on iRacing to help you out somewhere up there as well. Remember, McConey Setup Shop, they're our setups, but they're your victories. Lights are off, top 5. Going to be that of Brandon Colley, Thomas Green, Mark Whitley, Mark Morales, Cody Reed. And Cody Reed, a driver that's kind of new to scene up front, and this is only his 3rd start of the season, but we have not really seen the 25 be very strong. I'm very interested to see what we're going to see from this 25 truck early on in this race.
I think you allude to it, Sam. Just hasn't had the season so far to, back up the 6th place position. But I tell you what, Las Vegas may be the place for him to do it. Some tracks suit drivers better. This first mile and a half we got to, so maybe that's the style that he is very attuned to. We'll see what he can do. Started 5th, only lost 1 spot there to Tanner Johnson in the opening laps. We'll see what he can do the rest of the race, though, man.
Well, let's see how the drivers can attack once again. We're going to give this another try. Only got about a lap and a half before we got our first yellow. Let's hope to see if we can go a little bit further this go around. As right now, it's the NAISCC Race Car Graveyard Truck Series. It's the Cosmic Kandles. We are going to be green. As here they come, going into the start. It's going to be that of Brandon Colley. Going to be heading in, and a great start for the 1, but once again, jam-packed in the middle of the pack.
Yeah, now the field's spreading out here early on this restart. And man, oh man, it's already starting to stack up there, really on that 10th position. On back again, you're seeing some 3-wide action. Got to be careful here early in the going. Not want to get another incident.
Driver's going to be off track. I believe it was the 19 of Tyler Dangler, but up front, side by side for second once again, as they are going to be poking and bumping drivers around currently, as you're just seeing side by side the draft package, as a little bit of contact for the 3 and the 1 into turn number 1, as it's going to be Brandon Colley doing his best to hold on up front, but it's Thomas Green on the outside, a large run for the 3 machine, as he's side by side going into 3 and 4.
Thomas Green showing strength here early to get to the quarter panel of that 1. We'll see if he can do a little work there, as he almost gets very, very close there on the exit. Close stuff between those 2 there. Down the front straightaway, he's able to pull up side by side.
Side by side, 4 rows deep. As it's going to be Brandon Colley, Martin Morales is going to be on the inside, as well as Vincent Sora, our Rockingham winner. The 15 looking strong, but we know the 77 of Mark Whitley, second truck on the outside. He's going to be a factor all night long, as well as Thomas Green. But the 3 for Green, he's shown in the early parts, and a little bit of shuffle for the 24. But Green has shown that he has speed in the early goings of a race. It's when we get about a quarter of the way through the run, the 3 starts to fall off, and we're hoping that he can find a little bit more of a consistency here, as he's still side by side. Here comes Thomas Green, the outside run. He might be able to clear him going into 3.
And I tell you what I'm already seeing right here, Sam, that draft playing a huge factor. It's kind of similar to what we almost seen last night at SRU. You get up high there, you build the speed down the straightaway, and that line builds up. The guy on the inside is really just freight trained at that point. And we're seeing Brandon Colley, he's hanging on tough here. He's got Vincent Sora now in that 15 down low with him, who's really drove up from height. So Vincent really climbing through, but that inside line, seeing the struggle, and that 3 really side drafting in the late exit of the quarter.
I mean, up front, they're still, for front 4, going to be staying side by side, but a new driver's going to be 3rd in line. That's going to be that Thomas Walter. Watch out for the 57, one of the fastest trucks during practice, but he didn't have the best qualifying run, but certainly going to be a driver to watch out for, as a little bit of contact from the 1 and the 3, and it's going to give an opportunity. Here comes Vincent Sora trying to give a bump, and watch out, the 15 trying 3 wide, just not close enough. As you see that of Thomas Green holding strong on the outside. Great run coming. The goal is, though, can he get a big enough bump and maybe move forward as they're slicing and dicing? Almost contact for 5th place.
Yeah, Reed and Walter, they're almost into each other on the door there. There's a 3 to the lead, though. Now Mark Whitley trying to do the same thing Thomas Green did, go to the outside of Brandon Colley there. Now he slots down to the bottom here behind his 3 machine down the front straightaway. Big run for the 77.
Zach, as we're just seeing up front drivers, as we're on the back bumper of the 3 of Thomas Green, just seeing everyone slicing and dicing. As the run goes on, where will be the preferred lane for these drivers?
That's the big question. You would think always on the bottom here, since it's mostly wide open. I think as the run goes on, you'll see that bottom become more dominant. But holding someone off the preferred line is always the outside line when you can hold someone to that bottom line, not let them unwound that wheel as they come off the corner. They really start to struggle. And Whitley, oh man, loose on the front straightaway there. That's going to let Brandon Colley clear him. Now Vincent Soar to the outside of the 77.
Sora's trying everything in his power to try to make that make that higher lane work to get that third place position as Thomas Green, he made the pass for the lead, but Brandon Colley flying right back. The one just nosing and now clearing for the lead. Here comes a little bit of a deep move. Watch out for Thomas Green. He might go high and then duck low, but it's Brandon Colley just defending right at the white line. They're bump drafted on the straightaway.
Oh man, this race here is very close early in the early 15 laps here. Definitely got to be thinking big picture for these guys. They're making big moves. If they make these big moves, they may be struggling for tires as this run continues on, but side by side for the lead, the 3 of the wood just won't give it up.
I mean, you touched on it with Zach. It's about the first 15 laps, and then things might start to switch. Well, we're coming to 16 laps, but it will be another 4 laps until we're about 15 laps of green flag racing. But man, Cody Reed doing a great job in 7th. But if we move back up front, it's Vincent Sora trying to pressure for the lead, the 15 on the low end, just trying to utilize the draft from the 1 and not able to do so. They're single file for our front 3 positions.
Here goes the 3 with the big run from the top. I tell you, Vincent Sora gave such a shove to the 1 with the draft there down into 1 and 2 there that gave him that big run. Now Colley going to have the outside lane here. We'll see what prevails off a 4 to 3. Really trying to make the bottom work there, but just couldn't get the power through the corner. That's going to be lap led to Brandon Colley again.
They're going to be still slicing and dicing up front, side by side for the lead. As Brandon Colley, he's hoping that that inside line doesn't drift up and going to be trying to utilize the pinch just a little bit closer as, oh boy, the wall. Also something you got to avoid for yourself. Yes, you can maximize speed by drifting up there, but you don't want to make any contact there, Zach.
No, you definitely do not. We alluded to it earlier about damage. You get damage on these race trucks, they become useless at that point in the draft. You get so much drag from these trucks that any little break in the fender or little fold on that fender is, oh, Tanner Johnson's around.
Tanner Johnson, turn 1. More contact as more drivers pile into the mix. It's the 69. Chris Kirk's going to be flipped upside down, but it all started around this 23.
Oh, man, major damage for Tanner there, and I think he may have got a little bit of help there, guys.
I mean, the middle of the pack where we've seen drivers be very aggressive with one another, and it's going to be a battle for 9th when this incident occurs going into turn number 1. And I think for that of Tanner Johnson, expected a little bit more room when he was coming down, and just did not get that space from light that he was expecting.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right about that, Sam. And then, these guys sliding into, I think the 70 got actually into the 69, a Keurig there, who kind of power drove him into that situation. So a little bit of a late incident there once the wreck had already happened. But, man, it's hard to miss stuff when you're 3 wide like those guys were. And, you know, really just unfortunate for Tanner Johnson. Just running really good here tonight. It gets caught up in that. Luckily, he's got a fast spare to get him back into this. But that's still going to be major damage just to be right on board with Keurig. I mean, he went for a spin cycle there.
Oh, man. We're able to get a little bit of a breather. But, man, that's certainly giving us the time to cool off. I mean, it is going to be dramatic once we see drivers coming to pit road and try to get new tires as get to cool off. Drivers have 3 sets in pit road whenever they feel like coming in. And, Zach, we were notified that the drivers have about 40 to 45 laps of fuel, so they're about halfway. I know it's a larger field than what the NAISCC Cup Series was running last season, where they had about 20 to 24 drivers. We now have 35 drivers on track. But I feel like coming in tires, it's not the worst decision if you're further back in the field.
If you're further back, it definitely, I think, is a worthwhile gamble. Now, it's so hard to say that, you know, how it's going to work out with this race. You know, if you take those tires now, it could very well work out for you getting track position here before the end, you know, before we do have to actually pit. So it's kind of an interesting situation that they got them in there if you pit. But I tell you what, it could work out for somebody farther back there. But I think the guys up front, great call from them. You want to save that extra set of tires we're going to have for tonight for any little race to the end, because like we said, after 15 to 20 laps, you do have to start to lift a good bit more than you have to early in the run. So that right there is going to be a big deal. If you have new tires at the end, you're going to be able to go wide open around people.
And drivers that were involved in our first incident of the day and also our second heavily damaged is the 18 of that of Jeffrey Stone, as well as Jarrett Talmadge, one of the drivers that we noted on that is finished in the top 10 every single race so far this season. He's going to need a lot of help for this 83 team to try to get back up front, but his teammate Thomas Green in second currently, and we're going to add another driver that is DNF'd here today, as Christopher Couric's going to be parking it at 69. Not going to be able to finish out here at Las Vegas, as he had his dramatic flip and already had used his fast repair in that first wreck, involved in the second. That safety net for some of these drivers has already been taken away because of that first incident, how many drivers piled in. Kind of curious that we saw as many drivers as we did utilize their fast repair, as looks like about 8 drivers do not have a fast repair to work with for the rest of this race, and we still have over 100 laps to go.
Yeah, that's something you definitely don't want to be doing, I think, Sam. You know, you want to have that always in your back pocket, hoping for a late race situation to use that, because if you don't have major damage where you're going to fall laps down, then I don't see a point of taking it. I mean, a few guys definitely most likely had to, just due to the required repairs, but man, using that fast repair 2 laps into the race or 20 laps into the race is always a bad feeling for you as a driver.
Well, the field up front is Brandon Colley, Thomas Green, Vincent Sora, Mark Whitley, and Martin Morales Jr. are going to be your top 5 as getting ready for the lights to come off. And as we're waiting to go green once again, we'll talk to our final sponsor of the night, that being ButtKicker. Feel what you've been missing. And ButtKicker, if you would like to get anything from ButtKicker right now, the biggest thing to get is the Gamer 2, a way for your rig to actually vibrate, to feel the sounds instead of just hearing them. And it is, you don't need any added software. ButtKicker, it's a plug and go system where you attach it to your rig and you get to feel the sounds instead of hearing them. It's a way to enhance. And I gotta say, getting a Gamer 2 sounds exactly what the actual real life drivers, when the pandemic first started, when they all made the transition over, Zach, to iRacing, I heard a lot of IndyCar drivers saying they missed the feeling of how the cars were going and feeling the sliding or feeling the wind. Well, getting yourself a Gamer 2 is a way to enhance it and kind of get a similar feeling that the pros love and feel like can enhance your gaming and as well racing abilities. If you'd like to get yourself a Gamer 2 and get 20% off, use the promo code FreakyFast20. That's Freaky with 2 E's. 20% off, FreakyFast20. That is for a ButtKicker Gamer 2. ButtKicker, feel what you've been missing. The lights are off. We're getting ready to go. It's Brandon Colley, Thomas Green, Vincent Sora, Mark Whitley, and Martin Morales Jr. Going to be your top 5. Pace truck is off. And we are green once again for the Cosmic Candle 187 here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. And that is the best launch that you could have asked for Brandon Colley into turn number 1.
Yeah, he got out there, built the gap, and now he's going to have to worry, though. Same thing you have at the Super Speedway tracks. They're going to get back, too, so they're going to get a bigger run now due to that draft. They're going to have much more time to build up the speed. Here comes Vincent Sora now with him 1 truck length down the back straightaway. Can't get there before 3, but we'll see what type of run he can build out of 4 here as Brandon Colley got a strong hold on the lead here at the moment.
Drivers all in line, and the first one in our top 5 that's going to be trying to duck low. It's going to be Martin Morales Jr. trying to make a pass on Thomas Green. 24, fighting strong, a driver that we've really been waiting to see his development and moving forward each and every week. It's been great to see as a driver having issues. Looks like it is a driver further back. That was Joshua Freed in 31st position, having issues and losing ground quickly, but drivers further back seem to be continuing to have their woes with Zach up front, side by side, but Morales is going backwards.
Yeah, Morales tried to make that move to the inside of the 3 there. Now he's going to get stuck to the inside of the 57. This is another similar situation. All these trucks run up in that second lane, given the draft of that truck's on the outside line, where Morales trying to get it done on the bottom. It helps in the corners that he has all that clean air, but as soon as you get on the straightaway, you lose so much speed, and you can see he's just kind of getting freight train now.
Thomas Walter now going to be ducking it low and going to be trying to move faster as we're riding on the back bumper of the 24. and gain a sense of Dakota Moniz making a surge, as well as Cody Reed that's been staying in the top 10. And for Dakota Moniz, this is another chance for the 5 to have a solid run, as he's been having some poor luck here these past couple of weeks for the 5. He wants to start earning solid points. Recognize, hey, this regular season, we're coming closer and closer to halfway as the 5 dips low. But man, the hard racing as we're on the back bumper of that of Brandon Collins.
Yeah, we had a little stack up there off of 2 Morales. Unfortunate for him. In the 24 into the outside wall, going to catch a little damage on that 24. It's going to drop him back a few spots. He's able to somewhat stabilize that fall there as he lost about 2 positions from it, but he's able to hold on now as Vincent Sora all over the back bumper. He's looking for another win here at the Rockingham. Could be the first guy to go with 2 wins this season and have multiple, but I'm almost having that feeling. I expect a new winner again here tonight.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's looking like it's one of those things where things are keep on adding up. Of seeing drivers having the best odds to win here, besides a previous winner, Vincent Sora, the best currently of all the drivers that have previously won. As James Loveland did not show up here tonight, feeling ill, and felt like it was much better for him to sit out tonight's race instead of being a risk to all the other drivers out on track. As we see the absolute hornet's nest that's going on back here for the drivers that are battling for the top 10, as it is the 38 as well as the 01 and the 14, almost 3 wide, and they are 3 wide further back. It's a madhouse back here in 15.
It really is. There, Max Foner go to the bottom, making 2 passes down there. You also got Trevor Hart up top of the 99. They split one car. I believe that was the 13 Alexander Light there. They got him, split him 3 wide. That was an amazing pass for both of the drivers, as now they try to continue forward. Morales ahead of them. See that right front damage on that truck. You can see the right front tire sticking out from that fender. That is going to create a huge amount of drag, and that's going to really hold him back here as this run continues.
Yeah, it's going to be holding him back dramatically. And also a driver to watch out for that's in the middle of all this madness. It's going to be the 95 of Anthony Laudy, who's going to be a driver that decided to take 4 fresh tires back on lap 11 laps ago. So he's got fresher rubber. We'll see the 95 with about 20 lap fresher tires and everyone else. How aggressive can he be, as they're going to be going 3 wide on the back stretch going into turn number 3.
Oh man, Danny Cochran also there. Look at a big move for him down to Martin Morales. That was a great move for Danny. He was up top 3 wide, got the run down the back straightaway, cleared himself, made the pass. Here's the 95 of Anthony there you alluded to. He's coming up on those new tires, and you know, really looking back, and there's an incident behind this between the 13 and I don't know exactly, that's the 17 of Starnes, and they're wrecking on the front straightaway here.
More drivers piling in, and it looked like trying to get the exact driver that piled in, but Light, the driver that just locked down the brakes, great call on his part to do so, and everyone else able to start moving forward, but a very scary situation where more drivers could have been involved.
Yeah, that could have been a huge incident there. As you see up here is the 17 of Justin Starnes. He's on that apron. He comes up the racetrack into that 13. Just going to turn him right there on the front straightaway. And man, that's unfortunate right there, having in front of everybody. All these guys somehow managed to dodge, except I think one truck may have caught some right there. But most of the guys able to dodge that wreck there. What a wild event.
Yeah, and you know, we saw there drivers for that of Light just hold ground, and for that of Light, he can stay where he's at, defending that white line. It's Stars that's got to be figuring out how to get back on the racing surface, but in a proper manner, besides just dooring someone like he did. And hard contact, bringing out a wreck here as we are on lap 32, 3rd caution of the day.
3rd caution. I tell you what, this too here is a very interesting timing for this caution, because look at that. First driver to pull off, that's going to be Thomas Green. Oh, and he fakes me out. Never mind. He just brought it back on the track. But, you know, I was just thinking, Sam, you know, those drivers who pitted there at that last caution, they could make it to the stage break at 55. I didn't even put that into my mind. But with 3 cautions now, could these drivers have saved enough fuel to get there? I know we got a 45 is what we heard the window was, but you know, usually that window is just a little bit longer. So maybe these drivers feeling that they could stretch it to 55 who stayed out here, but if they can't, they're going to have to worry about that, because anybody that's pitted now and comes back out here, we stay green till the end of that stage and they have to pit, you're going to go a lap down.
Yeah, I mean, the window we were given was roughly around 45 laps they could go if we were staying green, but we've had about 15 laps of pace laps, and you got to stretch about 10 more laps. That is a lot of time that you've got to figure out how to gain for these drivers. I think it might be too far, but you never know. For some of these drivers, they feel like, hey, we could stretch it out an extra 15 miles if we've got enough pacing laps, but that is still a lot of time to try to save under pacing. So we're on lap 33. Still, our top 7 have not come into pit road. That of Aaron Kralik, excuse me, the 0-1, gonna be the first of the drivers that have pitted. He pitted about 29 laps ago, so should be good with the pacing laps to make it from here on out. And you noted on the drivers that pitted on the previous caution, those drivers being the 95 who's in 12th position, as well as the two of Danny Cochran, they should be good on fuel as well.
Well, this is going to be an interesting situation now. You know, I think what these guys up front most likely are just, you know, they're banking on cautions here. They're saying, all right, you know, we've had 3 up to this lap 34 point. Most likely, we feel like there'll be another one that we can, you know, stretch the fuel to that stage mark, because I really would not want to come down till that stage. That would be my best bet scenario. But if you don't have the fuel, you can't do it.
Yeah, I mean, it's you know, we're at Las Vegas. Why not start gambling already? Some of these drivers already have been showing that they've got some fast machines. For Vincent Sora, he's already won, locked in. He's going to be in 2nd place. And hey, you could try something when you have a good shot of, you know, you don't have any risk. You can make all the risks because you already won. You're locked into the playoffs. So you can try as many different strategies as you want. And also getting stage points, very important for a lot of these drivers, as Stage 1 comes to a conclusion at the end of lap 55, and only the top 5 drivers get stage points.
No, you're very right about that, Sam. We've seen multiple times up here in the booth how important those stage points can be in making or breaking your season to get into those playoffs. I mean, if we get, like you said, if we had 3 winners up to this point, if we get another one tonight, that's going to make 12 spots available by points so far. And I mean, at this rate, how many different winners are we going to get? I mean, I personally, just looking throughout this field, I see multiple different guys winning a race this season. I could see upwards of maybe even 8 to 9 drivers getting a win. And I'm sure I don't even know all of the drivers out there that could possibly win. So we can see that number skyrocket even more. And there could be only 5 to 6 positions available for points. So points still going to matter. And if you can point yourself in, you will make those playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, we know there's a lot of fast drivers that are coming from the NAISCC Track Racer Cup Series that we know that are quick. I mean, we know Brandon Colley's quick. We know he has the speed to win. We know that Vincent Sori's already gotten a win. Mark Whitley, we've seen won multiple times at the Cup Series as well. Dakota Moniz has won in the Cup Series. Mark Whitley. I mean, you look at the top 7 drivers. We know at least 6 of them have already won in the NAISCC Cup Series. But the question is, can they translate it over to the Cup with new blood, new competition? As Thomas Green showing off, hey, the new guys certainly have speed. And don't look now, but Cody Reed, he's still staying there in 8th place. And I'm wondering if the 25's just been saving his tires to pounce here late as the pace truck we wait to move off. But it's going to be Brandon Colley, Vincent Sora, Thomas Green, Mark Whitley, and Thomas Walter. Going to be your top 5 as we give it another go for restart number 4 for the Cosmic Candle 187 here for the Race Car Graveyard Truck Series. And it's going to be Brandon Colley once again. Great start, automatically drops down. It's going to be single file for a front 2, but side by side for 3rd place.
Yeah, side by side, Whitley, Thomas Green there. You also got the 57 of Walter Moniz now breaking himself up and through there to that 6th position. Great run for him. We'll see if he can continue to run forward. As there goes the 3 down to the inside. He looks like he's going to maybe take a run here to the 77 of Mark Whitley.
Whitley's got to be careful, as if he gives too much room, Green's going to come and try to pounce. As the later the run goes on, the more of the question, will the inside lane be able to hold on? And also, who decides to try the apron again, as the apron was one of the culprits on our last caution that came out, but up front, single file until 10th and 9th place again. That is where the drivers love to stay side by side.
Oh man, major major carnage here possibly building up as even our leaders had a little bit of a bump. But look at this 25 of Cody Reed, the 14 of Cope here, the 99 of Earhart. They're all trying to work their way forward. And there's the 2 of Danny Cochran over at Daytona on them newer tires coming forward.
Coming forward, and as they're side by side as well as up front is side by side. It's Vincent Sora to the inside in second place, trying to go for a battle for the lead. And honestly, no surprise, the leaders are going to stay side by side battling. The question is, when do you kind of give up for Sora, because everyone's staying in line on the outside?
Yeah, it's such a tough question. You know, you want to get the pass done, but if you don't get it done quick enough, you burn your tires up. And we got 3 wide back here between Cody Reed and the 25, Preston Cope. In the 14, you got the 18 down there low. Jeffrey Stodar, a really big climber from Phoenix last week. He's trying to do another job of that after starting 20th.
You got to remember Jeffrey Stone. He missed the starting grid, missed the first wreck of the day, was involved in the second one, and this 18 trying to show speed and pace as they're still 3 wide. It's Stone, Reed, Shaw as they go through 3 and 4. It continues to drop back. This is Cody Reed stuck in the middle and finally finding space. But Shaw, he'll duck in low, forcing it 3 wide. Danny Cochran, Stone, Shaw from top to bottom. They're still 3 wide at turn number 1.
What a move there from the 66 from the top to the bottom. The big old crossover maneuver. Here's a ride on board with him now. He's got the pass done on the 18 of Jeffrey Stone. Still has Danny Cochran to the outside and Trevor Earhart up ahead. But the 66 going forward here after starting back there in the 32nd position. Shaw really using those tires to his advantages. Here comes so much momentum.
They're just making the inside move. I mean, when you have this much speed, it's a little bit of contact. Shaw, Moniz, as they have to hold on for a quick second to 5, losing ground. You're going to be clogging up the outside lane. The inside going to be moving very quickly as you've got Stone. Also, don't look now, but Sean Hutzfeller's coming back after being involved in the first incident of the day, the 94, finding his place on the field. But, Zach, it is just becoming a madhouse in the middle of the field, which we're not surprised by this. That's what Las Vegas gives you each and every time you're on the track. And the track's getting cooler, faster, more grip, more aggressive moves.
That's for sure. More aggressive for sure. The 66, he's definitely made some aggressive moves to get to where he's at, up to 4th now for Gregory Shaw. And now he's going to be catching these leaders who are on the older tires. Shaw really using advantage of that new rubber on his truck. The only problem is he's going to have to be thinking for the late portion of this race, how does he make that work? But now going to the inside of Vincent Sora for 3rd.
It's okay as long as he can finish out front and win the stage 1 break, get those 5 bonus points. It's okay if you fall back a little bit because you know you're going to have a little bit of a safety net in that fashion as well. Shaw, no fast repair for the 66. He needs to make sure he gets out front, gets away from everyone else so he doesn't get any more damage.
And he is coming through 66 to the inside for the lead. Gregory Shaw, what a drive for him on those new tires. He's able to get it done, and he's going to slide past Brandon Colley, new leader here at Las Vegas.
And the next driver that's going to be cruising his way through, currently 3 wide back at 6, it's going to be Sean Hutzfeller. And the reason why we saw Shaw and Hutzfeller right now just carving their way through the field is because they took 4 fresh tires under that last caution break. Again, stage 1 comes to a conclusion at the end of lap 55. These drivers coming up to 10, 11 laps to go in this stage.
You can see just how well those tires are working for these guys. Hutzfeller just making it look easy as he blows by the 3. Now going to get the run to the inside of the 15 off of 4. And ladies and gentlemen, that is what it looks like to have 4 new Goodyear tires on your race truck. You just drive past people like it is no day tomorrow. And now Hutzfeller breaking into that top 4 now. He's going to look now to Whitley. These tires, Sam, a really big advantage, but the thing is they've used that one set. They're not going to have that advantage if we get a late race caution.
Yeah, now they're only down with 2 more sets in pit road. Again, the whole entire field was given 3 sets of tires in pit road to utilize at any point they wanted during this race. And right now we see about 12 drivers that have not pitted at all this race, that even with the fact that we've had so many cautions, we don't know if they can make it all the way to the end of this stage 1. Fuel's going to be extremely close for a lot of these drivers that we think that they might be able to make it all the way just based on the fact that they haven't come into pit road yet, or they're banking on a late caution.
This is nerve-wracking stuff here for these guys. You see Walter He's under attack from the 18 and the 95. Those new tires still trying to attack these guys on the lower tires here for the 7th position. But, you know, these guys also, like you said, got to be thinking about fuel because, man, if you're close at all to get to 55, you got to know that you're going to have to go an extra pace lap around the track. And I think a lot of people don't think about that when it comes to saving fuel for stages. We'll see if anybody runs out coming to pit road or before that. So we'll see what happens, man. I'm nervous for these guys, though.
Oh, absolutely. As Thomas Walter, we continue to see of the 57, one of the drivers that is not pitted at all this race, and in that bubble of can they even make it to the end of stage number 1. And end of stage 1, conclusion of lap 55. As around the 57, you got the 95 and also the 24. Two drivers have already pitted. And Martin Morales, one of the drivers that we touched on, has that right side damage. Came in, got it repaired just slightly, and now utilizing it. Looks like he got some fresh rubber. He's carving his way up front.
Yeah, he's really utilizing those new tires there in that 57 machine, or sorry, the 24 machine to get back up front and got that damage work on. Hopefully he didn't have to use a fast repair to get it fixed either, too, so we'll have to see. But battle for the lead, too. Sean Huffstetter, he's sitting inside of Shaw here down in the 1. I think he's gotten past him.
As you see, the 94 just sliding in front of Gregory Shaw. But Shaw, he's going to fight back to the inside. A little bit of bump to the rear end of Huffstetter. As here comes Shaw inside. They are battling, and I wouldn't be surprised if they door one another here, as both drivers have already used their fast repairs. There's already a lot of rear end damage to the 94 of Sean Huffstetter, and a little bit of front end damage to the 66 of Gregory Shaw. So got to be careful between our two front runners.
That they do, and right now they got the gap to race very hard, but don't want to get no damage because they both use those fast repairs side by side down the back straightaway. That 94 is going to have a run here to get the nose ahead, but Shaw fighting hard on the bottom there in that 66.
We've got 6 coming to 5 laps to go in stage number 1. Stage will conclude at the end of lap 55, but these two, they know it's coming up close. They are battling still side by side. Gregory Shaw, Sean Huffstetter, they took 4 fresh tires on their last pit stop under the last caution, so they were able to get 4 fresh tires. They're up front by almost over 2 seconds now, even though they're side by side.
Yeah, you can see they're pulling away on those tires, even side by side, like you alluded to there, Sam. But even Martin Morales, he's now about to have a shot at Whitley, Sora, and Brandon Colley there in those 5th, 4th, and 3rd positions. But right now, this battle, I think, is going to be side by side down to the end with these two, the way it's going.
And based on the fact of the run that Sean Huffstetter's been getting, he will be able to lead the lap if he can get a good enough run. Doesn't slip up at all coming to the end. 3 laps to go at the end of this, coming to the end of stage 1. Yet only the top 5 get bonus points, and currently Martin Morales has that 5th place position as Thomas Green trying to defend for that spot. As we drop back to see that battle for 5th place, Thomas Green, Mark Whitley, they're side by side, but that's for 6th position. You're getting no points there.
That you are not. You're not getting points there. Morales says, I'll take those points from you guys in the 24 as he now sets his sights on Vincent Sora and Brandon Colley, who are trying to hold on them older tires. Those two have been able to hold on a little bit better than the rest of the field here, but we'll see how it shakes out as Huffstetter was able to clear Shaw and get a little bit of a gap here as they'll be coming to 2 to go this time for the stage.
2 to go, and another driver that's got 4 fresh tires, and I don't think there's enough time for him to carve his way through. Back in 13th position, rocking the white and pink. It's October, it's breast cancer awareness. Cody Dorsey trying to figure out how to move from 13th up to 5th, but I think there might not be enough space or time for him to do it. 2 laps to go here in stage number 1.
Man, oh man, this is some wild stuff here. New tires, old tires, all types of different agendas going on here at the end of this stage. We're going to be taking the white flag with Huffstetter out front. But do these guys have enough fuel who have not pitted? That's the key question.
If you're out here at this point, I think you can make it, or at least you trust what your numbers are saying that you can make it right now. As Martin Morales is going to be trying to make the pass for 4th, going to be pushing Vincent Sora back to 5th place. As up front, it's Sean Huffstetter, Gregory Shaw on the white flag of stage number 1. The 66 got one more corner to try to get the most points here, but it's Sean Huffstetter sticking to the white line, finding the speed with 4 freshies, and it's going to be Sean Hutzstutler winning here for stage number 1, getting 5 bonus points to the 94 as the rest of the field comes through. We got to wait until 5th passes, and there they go. Caution waves. Stage 1 is done.
What a wild ending there, man. Brandon Cali Vincent were able to hold on for those points on the old tires, but Sean Hutzstutler, Gregory Shaw, and Martin Morales Jr., what can you say there? Just amazing, amazing calls from them to go up there and get points. Now they're going to have to think, what do they do here at this stage pit stop? But nonetheless, they get a stage victories and some good points for the rest of these 3.
As we wait for the drivers to catch up, stage 1 is done. Sean Hutzstutler, we touched on it. Once we saw them cutting their way through, they went with 4 tires 24 laps ago under our last yellow flag. Our 3rd caution of the day. This is going to be our 4th, being our stage break, but we've only had 3 on-track incidences early on. But Zach, I think you and I both know it's going to get a lot more intense than those just first couple of laps.
Oh, this is going to pick up. We have seen nothing yet, personally, with aggressiveness. We've seen some big moves, 3 wide from the top down, cut down to the bottom to get another person 3 wide. So we've seen some aggressive moves. But the pushing and shoving that happens on these restarts and stuff is going to pick up each time. I would not be surprised if we have a few bent fenders, but also some bent feelings tonight.
Well, you won't miss a thing. Drivers into pit road, but we're going to step aside. Got to give a big thanks to all of our sponsors. And when we come back, Green Flag Racing to the end. Sean Hutzstutler, we'll watch and see if he can get out front. But we are going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we race to the end here for the Cosmic Candle 187.
To be the best, you can't settle for the rest. There's a reason that Makoni Setup Shop is trusted by more virtual and real-world tracks and companies than any other setup shop in iRacing. With partners such as Stafford Motor Speedway, the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway, Five Flag Speedway, Speed 51, and more. When you want something done right, you go to the experts at Makoni Setup Shop.
With setups available for most series on both asphalt and dirt, built by a team of professional builders consisting of some of the top talents on the service, Makoni Setup Shop LLC has what you need to hit the track with confidence. Head over to McConeySetupShop.com and learn why McConey Setup Shop is the official setup shop of Richmond Raceway Esports and is partnered with some of the largest names in virtual and real racing.
And remember, at McConey Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, here on Freaky Fast Broadcasting for the NAISCC Race Car Graveyard Truck Series. This has been so much fun covering these guys. Big thanks to Race Car Graveyard. If you'd like to get yourself a diecast, or if you're starting a collection, already have a collection, they've got you covered in 1:24 ratio or 1:64 ratio NASCAR diecast. You can get anything from new, used, or custom. Use the promo code RCGY for 10% off. And if you want more information on Race Car Graveyard, go to their Instagram at Race Car Graveyard. Thank you for being the primary sponsor for the truck series. But on track, Zach, like your phrasing, it's about to get spicy. Gregory Shaw, he did not take tires on this. Stopped the 6.6 on the outside. Lead car, and he is slow and barely getting going. He's being shoved by Vincent Sora on the start.
Oh, man, yeah, he's going to have trouble here, Sam. You seen the advantage he had on the new tires? That advantage out the window. Now everybody else has the huge advantage. He's going to get shoved up to the very top of the racetrack, and I'm sure he's going to be going really far back. Is the 3 of Thomas Green. Major save.
Holds on, doesn't hit the wall, but he has to get back on track as everyone else got to get around the 3. A very hard-stopping moment there, but they are still 2-3 wide as the 66 of Gregory Shaw just going to make everything more difficult for the rest of the field as they're going to be 3-4 wide going through the middle of the pack, and this is where the danger zone's been. 10th place. Everything's been going bad here.
And it has been looking this year as the 66 has nothing to do here. He can't do anything except ride the high line and let everybody go by. It was 4 wide there at one moment. Man, oh man, it is getting crazy. They're 3 wide behind him. Look at this stuff.
Keeping it high, getting out of the way, but it's everyone else. There's just not enough space as they're still going to be 2-3 wide. Ducking it high, ducking it low as they're still trying to figure things out around 15th, 16th position. And out front, it's Danny Cochran, our Daytona winner, leading the race.
And it is. Cochran took over the lead. Another thing I looked at, we talk about luck a lot of times for this guy. I think he made his luck pretty bad tonight by speeding on pit road. That's Brandon Colley. They're our pole setter tonight. He's back in 27th.
Oh, that is terrible to see for Brandon Colley. He's got to figure out how to get his way through. And whenever we see the one have to cut his way through the pack, that's when he usually gets caught up in trouble, as we're seeing the 38 currently running in the middle of the pack, doing a great job. Currently, this is Chris Norris, and Norris, he's hoping to have a cleaner race here today, coming in as one of the drivers with the highest incident points, which usually when you look through the stats, incident points tells you of a driver that's been around the most contact or has just been bumped around. Norris hoping not to be bumped by anyone here tonight.
Yeah, you don't want to be everybody's pinata here tonight and get beat around on the racetrack. And he's doing a good job of staying where he's at. Hasn't got involved in anything yet. So great job on Norris. But up ahead of that, the doubles here, the 5 and the 0-1 of Aaron Craley, all almost come to contact.
I mean, Dakota Moniz as well as Ethan Smith, 2 drivers that have been trying not to get off top of one another, but they're just trying to gain as much speed and also trying to just race defensively as Moniz trying to pinch low. And if you see the 00 or anyone on the inside touch the apron, they're going to shoot up on the track and give a little bit of contact as they're still side by side duking it out for 10th position. And they are slowly catching up to the pack in front of them, but it's just a hornet's nest. One little contact could just cause a complete reaction of everyone going everywhere, more carnage. And then if you move up front, drivers you don't really see battling for the lead. It's Martin Morales with a great qualifying run, 2nd place now as he's trying to go for the lead.
Oh, man, what a story that would be if Martin could get up here and get that lead, win this race here. I think that would be a fan favorite thing here to happen. Such a great guy Martin is and such a nice guy he is. I would love to see this 24 continue to keep it up front.
It just seems like whenever I've watched Martin Morales, something unlucky happens to him. He's just working each and every week to get better. And here today, he's shown the best opportunity, the potential finally flowing. He had a great qualifying run in third, and he's trying to capitalize on the great qualifying run and great positioning currently, but drivers further back at 25th. Car low, now going down. It's John McAdams that is just losing ground, stuck on the apron, and he's in the infield grass, and because he's not on the racing surface, no yellow thrown for the 47.
Oh, that was unfortunate. Another driver caught up in that is John Forbes. He was just none of his doing, just caught right up into that. That was a, could have been close to a caution right there, but I'm going to keep it going here at the moment. And Forbes, after a good run at Phoenix, he's going to look to rebound here at Vegas here to see if he can get out of this this crapshoot out back.
We're going to move up to 11th place where we see the drivers' teammates, that being Thomas Green, Jared Talmadge. Talmadge finally been able to crack into the top 20. It has been a complete recovery day for this 83 team that was back in last so many laps ago at the start of the race, but he's finally starting to move forward as the 3 and 83 working together as they're now up to 14th and 16th.
This pack right here, just a massive one at that. And you're looking at it right now, 17 trucks within 2 seconds of each other. I mean, that is just unheard of here at a mile and a half, and that just shows you can't get away from nobody. So you usually have these contact incidents that happen that bring these yellows out. Is really the reason why you just can't get away from your competition and you run out of patience.
And Zach, things are about to get very interesting for our leaders. They are catching up to lap traffic. John McAdams, the driver that got into the infield grass with contact, he is now slowly being caught, and it's going to be that of Danny Cochran as well as Vincent Sora, the two drivers that have already won this season and trying to get their second and become the first driver to have multiple wins this season. They got to figure out where to place themselves as further back in this middle of the pack in 12th. They are 3 wide currently. Cody Reed has to fall back for the 25, but it was certainly a scary situation for Trevor Earhart, Stone, as well for Reed.
Well, like you said, scary situation. John McAdams here coming up. All these guys side by side like this, it's only going to create a bigger issue. So we'll see where the 47 places itself at the moment. He's on the bottom as the pack is catching him. Unsure if he'll go up high or hold it down low. These guys are going to have to navigate around them though as they're catching up quickly.
This is drivers are going to have a little bit of a scare on where to go. That is for sure, as everyone's starting to split up a little bit more up front. Our top 5 really starting to be spread out, but it's 6th on back that are side by side. It's still this cluster of drivers and this pack that just continues to grow, and they cannot figure out how to get away from one another, which I think for our front 5, this is great. The fact that they're catching up to a lap trap, and they're not really having to worry about a lot of the other drivers around them. But once we see the lap car of McAdams fall to around 6th or 7th, then we're going to be a little bit more scared.
Yeah, that's where you're going to see something pretty interesting happen for sure. And already truck up into the wall. I think that's Earhart there in the 99. There it's he's got some pretty hard damage there on the right side. Is now the top 5 clear the lap car John McAdams. Like you said, Sando, 6th on back. It's a little less of a single file train. These guys are a little more racy and more on top of each other. But
they are starting to figure things out. And the big thing that's helping these drivers is we're 15, now 16, soon to be 17 laps into a run, which is that window we touched on, where if you can get this far out, it's now about how well did you really keep your tires to the best optimal tire wear, or did you burn them off in those first 10 laps?
It's going to be a huge question. Cochran out front, though. He's been able to get it done. Past Vincent Sora, Mark Whitley in 3rd, Thomas Walter there 4th, Mark Morales Jr. there in 5th. Morales has a little bit of pressure there from Ethan Smith, who's drove up 28th to 6th, and then Anthony Ludi, 37th to 8th. We've had some big movers here tonight.
Oh, absolutely. And as we're riding on board with that of Thomas Walter, he's given us a great picture of side-by-side racing. That's for the lead. Danny Cochran, Vincent Sora, side-by-side once again. I think this time around, Sora's found a little bit more pace on the inside.
Well, this is always going to be interesting. 2 teammates are racing very hard for the lead late in the going of this race. We'll see if they end up racing each other continuously like teammates, or does that little bit of contact happen? Because I can tell you what, just because someone's your teammate doesn't mean you don't race them hard, and sometimes you race them even harder.
And then you got to think about the truck that's in 3rd, Mark Whitley. Zach, you've watched him in multiple different series, also have raced with the 77. He's going to always be a threat when he's up in the top 5.
Oh, for sure. I've known this guy for many years now. The 77, not one to play with for sure. He will come up to you and pass you when you don't even expect it. And I tell you what, I think he's kind of looming here in this 3rd spot. I would really watch for him as this run goes on. He's very good at mile and a halves. We'll see if he can continue to hold this off. But right now, our top 4, very, very strong out front.
Up front, starting to close in onto one another. And then, you know, that large pack that we were touching on, well, there's still side-by-side going on for 6th. Now, what once was a pack of 12, now turned into little pockets of 4, 3, and then staying single file behind them. This pack of 4 that we're seeing, though, being led by Sean Hutzstutler, Mark Morales, Anthony Lodi, as well as Aaron Kralik, and the 95, biggest mover of the day, currently up 28 positions, and might be more as they're still 3 wide battling, and they're just not giving up back here.
No, they are not. They're just going to work tonight in the back of this field, and the majority right here around that top 10 area. These guys have been battling so hard. Morales Jr., they're going to fight around the outside. You got Kralik now with Thomas Green trying to fight his way back up after some pit stops. This is just a good group of drivers right here that are having a great battle. And Ludi going to make the pass done, and I think he's going to get up to 7th. 37th to 7th for that 95.
Oh, I have no idea what trust Aaron Kralik had, but he just fit himself in the perfect spot. That 0-1, excuse me, could have been just tossed around by the 3 of Thomas Green. Green left just enough room, and Aaron Kralik, he's not going to try to dice it back in. Really, I mean, Ludi, that Morales, and also Kralik, those 3 just can't get away from one another. And I got to say, big, real run for Max Foner. This 51 team has really been trying to find their speed, currently in 11th, and trying to figure out how to get by the 24 currently.
Yeah, Max Foner, if I know him well enough from racing him last season, this guy is so good. He's one of the drivers that I think has just such good racecraft and just such good knowledge of the drivers around him that he makes really good decisions a lot of times, and that usually puts him in a very good spot coming down to the end of these races. Also has some of the best strategy I've seen out of a lot of these guys. So we'll see what he can do this season. I would not put it past him as this season goes on to see him in victory lane at some point.
We've seen, now we're starting to see more lap cars being thrown in the mix. We're now going to see the 71 in frame, that of Carl Pooler. And Pooler running the middle lane as well as McAdam. We got 2 lap cars blocking that of the battle for 8th and 7th. And they're going to be forcing drivers to go 3 wide now.
Oh, man, Sam, the 3 seemed like he didn't know what to do there for a moment. He kind of got sideways. Here the 47 comes off the racetrack. This is about to be calamity, possibly.
Oh, no, McAdams is blocking a lap car. Just get out of the way, but it's so hard when you're just stuck in the middle and about to become a ping pong ball. They're 3 wide, almost 4 wide, and 3 wide once again with lap traffic. They just kick it away, and this is a bad timing because those tires, they're wearing down quickly there, Zach.
Oh, man, my anxiety is picking up for these guys out here. The 71 of Pooler, he's trying to get out of the way, save for the 47, but sometimes it's just best to hold your line, not move around to let these drivers navigate yourself. But now it seems like they got it done as Pooler's starting to drop back there. But still, what a moment that could have been. That could have been another caution for us.
Jeffrey Stone still trying to dice his way through in the 18. Watch out. Drivers that were further back, that were saving their tires, are now starting to make the surge forward as Jeffrey Stone in the 18 now going to be working on the outside line. But this 18 machine, he is flying right now compared to the drivers that are in front of him.
He really is. And I mean, you know, it's always interesting with Jeffrey so far throughout this season. I mean, we don't really kind of know what to expect. He had a good run there going at Rocking and got caught up in some stuff. Then at Phoenix, didn't have the greatest qualifying spot, but man, did he have the really good strategy to get himself up there, held on to that 2nd place position, and had good pace at that too. Tonight, like you said, he started from the back, even though he qualified 20th. He's in 12th right now, man. Stone is just showing a lot of overcoming stuff in these races so far, Sam.
Yeah, I mean, Jeffrey Stone, he was our 2nd biggest mover points-wise after last week of Phoenix's race. And he's currently 9th in points, comes in with 1 top 5, 2 top 10s. And honestly, right now, we're saying he's got the long run pace. And it's that patience, I think, that you really got to kick in. If you are patient at these mile-and-a-half courses and you're willing to trust that we're going to get a long green flag run, you can have a shot to really rebound while other drivers are falling back.
That they would, Sam. I mean, it's just a great run going. Oh, Morales on the 24. I think he got up into the wall on the entry there in the 3 after Moniz and him were racing hard there. That's going to drop him way back. And right now, we're definitely starting to spread out, even though our top 5 all still, or top 4 all still on top of each other.
Yeah, and, we're looking back up, further back in, a sense, again, of what was dramatic and chaos, now calming down. That it is so interesting how in one blink of an eye you go from you got to make all the big moves now to let's calm down. Our tires are so different. I can't make the moves I was previously.
Yeah, I think these guys are starting to come down. As the run goes on, you get a little separation. You start to breathe. In those moments where you're a driver in those 2 or 3 wide separations, I know for a fact, me as a driver, I sometimes hold my breath, actually. It's a hard situation not to do because you're so focused on what's going on around you that if you breathe, you almost lose a little bit of focus. So when you get these times to space out, as a driver, especially me, I feel so much more calm and just in my car and one with it. As Danny Cochran hits pit road from the lead.
Yeah, Danny Cochran's coming into pit road, and it's a strategy that I've seen a couple of other drivers. Martin Morales is in pit road, as well as Trevor Earhart. Earhart got into the wall. He's going to have to get repairs done as well as getting service done. But we are right at the beginning of an extreme undercut inside the window to finish out this race. Pit stop, and a lot of these drivers can't stretch it a lot further. They can go another 15 more laps, but now with drivers coming into pit road, I don't know if you want to stretch it all the way out with your fuel. You might be seeing drivers being forced, and they're coming in once again. It's going to be Vincent Sora and others coming in, as well as Stone. And Stone's going to make a mistake on pit road. The 18 almost dumping himself in the pit side wall. But, Zach, this is a very early pit stop that I was not expecting. But, hey, they can make it to the end from this point on.
They definitely can. 35 to go here from this point, Sam. And I think what they're doing, they're almost playing the super speedway strategy, even though this place is a little more risky. Super speedway, you won't go a lap down pitting and hitting pit road, so that's why you kind of hit pit road early. Here you will go a lap down, so if they get a caution, they are risking that chance. But I think what they feel is you can just get out front, get in a draft pack, and pull away. You got to keep those numbers up, and right now, Whitley, if he waits too long out front here with this gap he has, he may be in trouble trying to catch back up without the help of somebody.
Yeah, as we're riding on board with Cody Dorsey, and you get to see the difference of a driver with fresh tires and those with not. If you didn't see earlier at the end of stage 1 how important the tires are, you get to see 2 pink drivers currently on over the 9 of Cody Dorsey, but it's October, Zach, breast cancer awareness, so that's why the drivers are running the pink. And as well, if you fall back to that of, I believe, 31st position, where Jeffrey Legrand is, who just came into pit road, also rocking some pink. And for Legrand, this is his first race of the season. Gonna get a little bit of sense what this truck series is like, as I think for a lot of these guys, this was kind of a shocker. I think a lot of the guys were expecting more cautions, even more than we've already had.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, we had a little rough, rocky start there in stage 1, but that's normal here at a track like this. We talked about it before this code, and we didn't know what to really expect with the way this package is with these trucks at this track. It's just so hard to race each other for that long with that many trucks on the racing surface. But, it was fun nonetheless to see that, but now we're getting these long green flag runs where the racing really starts to happen. As you can see, the 2 breast cancer awareness trucks doing battle. And I got to say, Sammy brought it up. I love to see that. I myself personally, October is my favorite month of the year, and definitely great to bring awareness to that. And I know I'll be burning a pink car here soon, very, very soon.
Yeah, everyone's going to be rocking pink early on, and then once we get later into the month, expect to see a lot more spooky Halloween schemes to also be bubbling up. So excited for it. But, man, I'm honestly, the longer this run goes on for some of the drivers that are up front, they got to pick and choose when they're going to come into pit road, because they're losing time to make up ground if they stay out any longer.
Yeah, this is where I'm scratching my head, Sam. If you're Mark Whitley, you're losing a possible chance at a victory here if you stay out any longer. I mean, if we get a caution, yeah, he's in a great spot. But, I never want to be that driver that banks on a caution. You cannot know if something like that's going to happen. Whitley right now losing valuable time to Vincent Sawyer and Danny Cochran, who are somewhat together on the racetrack, and both those drivers running 31 flat to Mark Whitley's 32.42. So that's upwards of a second and a half difference there. Each and every lap, that gap gets bigger and bigger.
Yeah, and Mark Whitley, if he's planning on stretching his fuel out as long as he can go out until around lap 104 to 105. That's the furthest he can go, but that's only leaving the 77 with about 20 to 22 laps to try to recover with all this time that he's losing each and every lap. Into pit road, going to be that of Alexander Light, and Light, one of the drivers that is just trying something different by staying out, but our top 9 still need to come into pit road, and Vincent Sora trying his best to try to unlap himself, but currently first car a lap down, so if a caution comes out, he would get that lucky dog spot, but would have to start the end of the line. With there being 34 cars out on track, you don't want to start all the way in the back.
Oh man, Danny Cochran in the 17. That was so close. I'm unsure what's going on with the 17, but I've seen it multiple times down the back straightaway. He's just not able to keep that car very straight and almost ends up wrecking one of our race-winning contenders.
Into pit road, going to be Mark Whitley, as you see Vincent Sora, 7th currently, still waiting for drivers going to come into pit road. Those 7 being Cody Reed, Tanner Johnson, Mark Whitley just coming into pit road, but Jesse Thordick, also Joshua Pike, and Cody Dorsey going to be the last drivers that have to come into pit road. Haven't really been able to talk much about Jesse Thordick or that of Joshua Pike, but both drivers running pretty well for themselves. For the 20 and the 70, both have been running around 20th position, but have been keeping their nose out of trouble for the both of them, and I think that's been the biggest plus for that of Pike, who really had a rough 3 races start out this season. Felt like he was a part of a lot of incidences, and been able to clean up the 70s racing. Currently in 4th, but still needing to come into pit road.
Yeah, still need to come to pit road for these guys. I think their goal here, if you're running farther back, no reason not to risk for a caution here. You got nothing to lose if your drivers like Cody Reed, Tanner Johnson, Jesse Thornick, and Joshua Pike. So right now they're going to keep hanging on to it. Same with Cody Dorsey. But I tell you what, with Mark Whitley, who just pit, Vincent Sora now, and Danny Cochran both going down the middle of the backstretch, Mark Whitley right now just coming out of turn 2.
Yeah, looking at where Mark Whitley lies and the drivers in front of him all the way up to Vincent Sora, he's about 8 seconds back, and he's only going to be gaining anywhere from 2 to 4 tenths, maybe even a half a second per lap, so it's going to be very close. And also we know that those times are not going to stay equal. They're going to drop off at some point and then start to equal out. As you see, Tanner Johnson, 3 wide seam drivers with fresher tires, battling side by side. That's Thomas Green, Dakota Moniz, as well as here comes Talmadge, going to be cutting their way forward. And I think another factor to watch out for is for Cody Reed, also for Tanner Johnson, Thordick, and Pike. Those 4 drivers, they've got a lot of fast drivers around them. They're going to be driving underneath and might actually force the issue that these drivers could miss pit road if they're not careful.
Oh, that is a dangerous situation, Sam. You come down into 1 and 2, you think you have enough gap there to be able to get the pit road next time by, but you can see, look at these cars flying up. If you're Cody Reed, you're saying, oh man, if I got to pit this lap here, how am I going to get this done with these 2 underneath me racing for a win? And then you got 2 more cars coming from behind there. It's just so tough to hit pit road when you have these cars all flying by at the same time.
And this is where communication is key. Luckily on iRacing, the drivers can communicate and say, hey, I'm coming into pit road, but you've got to make sure as the leader to defend and go down and say, I am staying here because I need to go into pit road. But it looks like Cody Reed, he's struggling to even get down to the white line currently, and same thing can be said for Tanner Johnson and others. They are trying their best to hold the white line, but the grip level is just not there currently to help them really get into pit entry without being forced outside from someone else.
Also these situations like this, we still have those 4 cars not pitted. They're much slower on the track that we alluded to. That right there sometimes is the very cause of incidents. So we'll see if that does end up being the situation. But look at this, Vincent Sora, Danny Cochran, They're the first 2 on them newer tires. They're only 2 seconds behind Joshua Pike here for position. They could possibly at least run up to Jesse Thornick here before these guys pit.
Vincent Sora also pitted a lap later than Danny Cochran, and so he's been able to have a little bit of an advantage here. But Danny Cochran, he is trying his darndest to keep it close with Vincent Sora. If the whole entire pit cycle goes through, then we will be seeing that of Vincent Sora and Danny Cochran. They should be taking the lead, but they're now making the pass on Joshua Pike. They might be able to make the pass for the lead before Cody Reed or Tanner Johnson or Jesse Thornick even come into pit road.
They very well could, as they're just flying on through here with 21 to go. Vincent Sora did an amazing job on pit road. Oh, major
leader
incident.
contact up front. Cody Reed had trouble, and it's that of Trevor Earhart getting contact with the 25, much slower on the exit of the corner, and 25 got to be careful because he's about to run out of fuel. If he's not careful and gets into pit road, he has to come in either this lap or the next.
Yeah, this is dire situation here. Reed still up high. He's got 1 car coming from behind. We'll see if he goes down low to hit pit road this time. Doesn't look like he will be because he's up in that middle lane.
Just holding on and now has to worry about more drivers trying to make the pass. Next driver going to be down at Preston Cope, going to get service done. But behind them, into pit road is Jesse Thornick, who's finally going to get service done for himself, leaving us with just that of Cody Reed, Tanner Johnson, and they're about to make 50 laps. And now it's going to be the question I'm going to throw to you, Zach. With how slow they're running, could they be saving enough to possibly stretch to the end?
Oh, that's such a tough thing to say, Sam. But here he comes this time. So that is going to answer our question. Is we'll see if Tanner Johnson. No, he stays out, so he goes on to lead another lap here. So we'll see what Johnson can do. I don't think that's going to be possible. It was about 65 laps to go when we took that green. So that's tough to do with no caution system.
It almost looks impossible, but you never know. And going to be back, going to be open for the best. As right now, Vincent Sora trying to make the pass on the drivers in front of him, Cody Reed, and others going to be trying to catch up and make the pass on on that of Cody Reed, Jesse Thornick, and others. But right now, Jesse Thornick really doing a great job because he's in front of Vincent Sora and others.
Yeah, he really is doing a great job. He's been able to hold that out there. Vincent Sora, Danny Cochran, though, about a 4-second lead back to Thomas Walter. They got a good little gap, but Whitley, 6.2 seconds back in 5th. He's going to be the one they have to worry about. He's right now running about 0.6 of a lap faster. That gap will shrink as we go on, but up to to the end, I imagine he'll have at least a 0.2 of a second gap on these guys for 17 laps.
I am scratching my head and trying to understand how it happened. But Jesse Thornton, he made the pit stop 3 laps ago, and right now is our leader with fresh tires, and is gonna. He's doing his best. I'm sorry, my ticker is completely wrong. My bad. I don't know what happened to my software. My software broke, and right now Vincent Sora is the leader. So I was freaking out. My software was saying that Jesse Thornton was the leader. I'm like, what the heck? How?
He did the good old magic pit stop. He must have had the F1 crew there today to get that one done. Because unfortunately for him, he's going to be 26, 1 lap down. But yeah, if that would have been something for sure there, Sam. That would have been a wild scenario. But I tell you what I'm looking at though is really the gap there it's only about 3 seconds, and now only 4 seconds for Whitley. He's really closing it down. I think he can possibly do this still.
4 seconds back. Fastest truck on the track is Mark Whitley. He's 0.7 of a second. He's flying, and right now 14 laps to go. If he keeps at this pace, he might be able to do it.
Yeah, he's going to have to keep this pace. You're right about that, Sam. It's going to take half a second at a time, and right now we're going to see This is the comparison of Thomas Walter and Vincent Sora as Whitley goes now up to third. So we might have to change that comparison to our third place truck now. So Whitley there in the 77, he's definitely moving forward. And right there, crossing the line 3 seconds back with 13 laps to go. You can see the difference per lap. It's upwards of a half a second that time right there, only 42 hundredths, but still, that is a great jump forward. We'll see what he can do here, Sam.
He's still climbing each and every lap. He's now under 3 seconds. Mark Whitley, we thought maybe he was staying out for too long by staying out by over 8 more laps than the rest of our leaders that are currently up front of Vincent Sora and Danny Cochran. Well, Mark Whitley, he's got to put on a show, and he's got to make sure he can get in front of all the lap traffic that's going to be in between the 15 and the 2. That's probably going to be the biggest issue for Mark Whitley, is finding some help with traffic to give him a little bit of a tow and also get by the drivers that are going to be trying to pressure and be stuck in between our leaders in the 77.
Yeah, with 12 to go, he's going to have to be at least 0.3 of a second faster here than these guys. Last time that wasn't enough, but he was passing Walter. We'll see when he crosses the line here what the difference is. 31.98 for him, leader 31.30 or 32.31. So right there, enough time gained. If he continues to chop off those 0.3 each and every time, he'll be there and possibly have enough time to even make the pass.
I mean, the biggest thing is that Danny Cochran is being slowed down with that of Cody Dorsey, forcing the 2 to stay on the high side and side by side for second, which when Mark Whitley gets the draft of the 2, I think we're going to be seeing the speed pick up just a little bit as well.
No, you alluded to exactly what will happen. As soon as Whitley gets a sniff of that draft, and right now, 2.3 back from the leader Vincent Sora, so that means he's looking to be about a second and a half behind Cochran here. As soon as he breaks that second gap, his speed's actually going to pick up even more dramatically here. But 9 to go. He was only about 0.2 faster that time. He needs to be in that 0.3 of a second range.
He's got to figure out that speed just a little bit more, but he's so close. 2 seconds back is Mark Whitley. But Vincent Sora, the biggest thing for the 15 is he's pulling away. And Zach, we thought maybe we could see 4 races, 4 different winners. If we're going to see that, Mark Whitley's got to make the charge himself.
Oh, he's got to put the power down here for sure to go ahead and get up there to that 15. You know, we alluded to it. Vincent Sora, so good in the Cup Series. Didn't get that win like we thought he would last season. But I tell you what, he's carried a lot of that momentum over here to the Truck Series. And right now, the biggest thing he's thinking about with 8 laps to go is just making clean laps, 1.7 seconds back to Mark Whitley. Whitley definitely closing that gap, but here is the lap car, also the 9 of Dorsey. Does he play a factor in this ending?
If Dorsey forces Vincent Sora to be off of his normal racing line, this could gain a little bit more time for that of Danny Cochran. But Mark Whitley, he's less than 2 seconds. He's almost less than a second and a half. But the laps, that's the key. Is there enough? 7 laps to go as Mark Whitley is trying to gain each and every lap, and he's still gaining. But you can see there is a slight drop-off each and every lap.
Yeah, and that's the thing you see is Vincent Sora's tires seem to even out. 32.30 to 32.40 was what we seen at the very end of that run from Mark Whitley. So this is the point of the run where the tires even out. It's just Whitley right now is still got a little bit left in him. But, man, with Sora, he's got to be looking at his mirror going, oh, man, I don't like this situation. But at the same time, the 9 is help pushing him. Here's the 9 to the inside. This is not going to help Sora with 6 to go.
No, is it pushing or is it just being a hazard at this point? Cody Dorsey still inside, racing with our leader, a lap car, trying to get himself back on the lead lap. But this is a very sketchy moment as a leader because you don't know if this is going to be helping or hurting. But yellow flag waves, yellow with 6 laps to go. Oh no, all the lead, all the pressure thrown out the window. Let's reset and try again.
Man, oh man, did this race get thrown on top of its head? We have a stop car up in the top lane there of the outside, and I think Kyle Guildhouse there was the driver involved in that 29. Man, what implications this just had.
A battle for 18th. Guildhouse, Moniz, both side by side and coming out of turn number 4. Both looking for the same real estate, and it was contact and into the wall. Hard wreck for the 29, and just comes to a complete halt. That's what brings up our late yellow, resetting the field. And Zach, we weren't sure if Mark Whitley was going to have another shot at the win. Well, now everyone's practically got a shot now.
Well, the question is, Sam, do you come down and burn that extra set of tires? I think we saw how fast Shaw was with those tires. Looks like nobody yet electing Whitley going to lead him down first, and it's going to be a army of trucks here going down pit road. I think this is the call to make if you see a lot of them doing it.
If you have to do the opposite of the leader. I mean, that's with how large of a field you have to. And now's the real chess match, because if you're further back in the middle of the pack, you see so many drivers coming into pit road, you might think about staying out, adding a couple of more drivers to have a net gain for yourself. And I think that's what we're going to be seeing here from a couple of drivers that we touched on that might have already used up all of their sets of tires already.
Yeah, I'm looking right now. It's looking to be about 6 to 7. There's sorry, that's gonna be 8. So I'm thinking about 8 trucks, maybe 9 trucks here staying out. Well, no, a couple more. So yeah, those new tires are gonna have a lot of work to do. I mean, Cochran, he had no choice. He's sitting in second with no tires. He kind of had to make that decision to stay outside. I knew what he was gonna do. Sora, you're a sitting duck as the leader. This is the worst case scenario. You see that yellow flag wave, Sora is very upset right now in that truck. And now he's got to worry about, are those new tires going to have enough time? I don't know if they will, though, Sam, with the amount of drivers that stayed out.
And you got for Vincent Sora, he's upset. Danny Cochran's upset. And now you got a mixture of drivers that are going to be figuring out how are they going to be finding themselves up front. But this is going to get real good here late.
Well, this is a great point too. Our producers just bring up to us is, think about Cody Reed and Tanner Johnston. They stayed out longer than any other drivers out there on the racetrack. They're going to have the freshest set of tires here coming down to the end in 7th and 9th until you get back to Walter there in the 11th position. So they're going to have a few spots on those guys. They might have a shot here to get up in battle for this.
As the drivers that we're trying to take a wave around fall back, and we'll get back to the end of the line. Up front, it's going to be Vincent Sora, Danny Cochran, Sean Hutzstutler, Ethan Smith, Jeffrey Stone, Mark Morales, Cody Reed, John Forbes, Tanner Johnson, and that of Alex Light going to be your top 10. Zach, with the amount of laps are left, I'm also curious where a driver's going to lie for, if this is going to be inside a regulation green-white checkered, or are we going into overtime?
I tell you what, I have a feeling that we're going to be seeing that overtime here at some point. And with the amount of laps we have anyways, this will be coming to 3 to go. This next time by will be 2 to go. I think we're going to have to go into overtime anyways right here. So this will probably be our first attempt at it, if anything. So we'll see. Man, this is such a interesting situation there. Everybody's been put in here late in the going. Now let's see who performs the best in the late closing moments.
I mean, and also you threw it out. Teammates going to be our front 2 drivers, as we are now going into our first attempt at overtime. We have 3 if needed, but how do these front 2 even get this restart going? Because I would imagine you're hoping to get in line to try to defend and hope just one of you win. But you're also, you're both already locked into the playoffs. You've already won this season, trying to defend from a lot of hungry drivers that want to make sure they are locked in to the playoffs and they can punch in their ticket early in the season.
Well, we're going to have a lot of different situations, a lot of different scenarios on this restart. We're going to have drivers coming, drivers dropping back. If you're drivers like Martin Morales, Jeffrey Stone, Ethan Smith, right there in the middle of all of this, Alexander Light, also John Forbes, they got to be very worried because the new tires are directly right behind him. Sora, I think he has enough of a gap here if he can get it done. He's also got the luck of having his teammate with him. We'll see how he shakes out here, Sam. I'm so ready to see who pulls this off.
First attempt. We have 3 if needed. If we get a yellow before the white flag, we try another attempt. If we get to our 3rd attempt, doesn't matter what flag we get, the race will end either under checkered or under yellow. But here right now, our first attempt at a green-white checkered overtime. It's the NAISCC Race Car Graveyard Truck Series. Your Cosmic Candle 187 is green for first attempt at overtime. Vincent Sora, Danny Cochran keeping it side by side, but Sean Hutsteller, as they're already bumping and moving and wrecking in the middle of the pack, we continue to stay green, yellow waves now.
Oh man, that was a not the greatest restart there, and I think that started around the 13 at Alexander Light there, making a very wrong decision to block right there.
Yeah, when you have drivers that are stacking up, it's not the best call, but I would not blame this on Light at all. If when we look at this, looks like we're seeing the aftermath, but it really is around Thomas Walter, who makes the big aggressive move that kind of settles everyone into a calamity, as the 57 forcing it 3 wide early, and a lot of drivers really not in the right spot here in the middle of the pack. And it's a lot of hungry drivers that you look like could and should have had a shot to win this race, but because of coming into pit road or mistakes that they made earlier on in the race, not able to make the suit. As you get to look at the just madness, they are just jam-packed, packed like sardines, and one little mistake launches all the madness.
It really does there, Sam. You know, a very aggressive move again from the 57 of Walter, but he's kind of got to do that in that situation there to get going. 13, I think the 13 there definitely didn't see it coming. He was sitting there going, hold on, we're 3 wide, and then he just made a late reaction as Kralik goes to go to his inside, and that's just a chain reaction. That's what happens when you have these scenarios that we have, and from here on out, I mean, it can only even get worse here for these guys because it's going to shake everything up just a little bit more.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to attempt number 2 of overtime. Do want to give a big thanks to everyone that's been watching the broadcast all night long, as it is something that the drivers are hyped up for tonight's race. And Zach, even more coverage throughout the week here on Freaky Fast Broadcasting. It's only the start, as we had SRU last night. We got the Truck Series here tonight, but then we have Underdog Racing League on Wednesday.
Yeah, we got a lot going on, a lot with these trucks too, a lot of different series, man. It's definitely been a fantastic time here for Freaky Fast Broadcast, and I'm just so caught up with what's going to go on down here at the end. I mean, look at Jeffrey Stone, Bart Morales Jr., some of these guys who were caught back there, even Ethan Smith at a lot of points, up here 4th, 5th, 6th. John Forbes there in 7th. I mean, it is really, really impressive.
Yeah, I mean, the 11 of John Forbes, he's trying to continue on with finding himself trying to get another top 10 right now, and he's doing his best.
Well, Sam, this is going to be green-white checkered attempt number 2 when we get them all lined back up. Man, Sora, Sora is sitting here saying, this is the longest race ending ever. You know, when you're in this position, it's such a terrible feeling, especially now because he's looking over his back saying, where did the tires get to right after that quick restart? I mean, Walter only got up to 9th and Whitley up to 10th. So they didn't make up too much ground, but they did make up a little bit of ground. That's going to reset everything. If we get another quick one after a lap and a half, Walter could get a few more spots. That's where you got to start to worry if you're the 15.
Yeah, and now the middle of the field where all that wreck came out in our last caution, they're now very damaged trucks that are going to be off speed and that are going to be just having to stick it out. They're not going to go into pit road unless they have required damage to get service done. So I think up front, Vincent Sora, Danny Cochran, they're in a pretty good spot and situation, even if another caution comes out, because everyone in the middle of the field from 7th on back, they're going to be forcing it 2, 3 wide, sometimes 4 wide, again, like we just had that last restart.
It's going to be every man for himself at this point. You know, it was also interesting. Sora took the outside lane there on that start, Sam, I noticed. And I figured maybe Danny was going to get not the greatest restart down there to try to help him get in there so they both could have the inside line down into 1. But it seems like Cochran maybe wanted to have a chance at that win. We'll see if Sora maybe was just electing to do that because that's his preferred lane and he thinks he can hold him off if he's up top there on that top lane. We'll see if he elects to do it here on this restart again. Yeah, he will. He'll go back up to the top, Cochran down to the bottom. these two teammates, they're going to have to do again battle here on this restart. We'll see how it all plays out. But, man, my nerves at this point, I'm about to start biting my fingernails.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we're stressing up here in the booth. We're not even in the cars, knowing that it's just going to get crazier from here. Vincent Sora, Danny Cochran, Sean Hutt-Stutler, Ethan Smith, Dad of Jeffrey Stone, Mark Morales, John Forbes, Cody Reed, Thomas Walter, Mark Whitley going to be your top 10 as the drivers are getting set and ready to go. This is going to be attempt number 2. If we get a yellow before the white flag, then the drivers will go into attempt number 3, which will be our final attempt, where the race could end under yellow. We could race it to the end, but if we get a white flag on this attempt, we race it to the checkers, and the gloves are off once you get that white flag in the air, and you know that's what Vincent Sora and Danny Cochran want to see.
Well, this is the time to get it done if you're going to get it done. Let's see what these two out front can do, and what do the new tires make of these fresh 4 tires.
Attempt number 2 of the NAISCC Race Car Graveyard Truck Series, Cosmic Candle 187. As the drivers are set, they're stacked, pace truck is off, as we wait for the green. And there they go. A little bit of wheel spin on the 2 on the inside. Stone gonna be ducking it low, forcing it already 3 wide for 3rd place. But Vincent Sora, great launch for himself. They're already wrecking behind. Around 17th, 18th, they're spun around, and there they go. Dorsey as well. And we're going to attempt number 3.
Well, deja vu if we've ever seen it. And yeah, starting around the 9 there, Dorsey, same with the 01 of Kralik. It's or sorry, not the 9 of Dorsey, the 28 of Jerry LeGrand, and the 5 and the 01, all kind of a little stack up there. As man, major incident.
Yeah, I mean, it's around the drivers that, are trying to get up to speed, but there's damage also involved, and you're hoping to gain everything you can, and just one little bump launches everyone into madness there. And yeah, I mean, there's just, you're so jam-packed. One little bump, you become a pinball, and you're going to be hitting at other drivers at that point. And of course, we knew a yellow was going to come. Question is, will we have a long enough green flag run for anyone to challenge Vincent Sora? Because we can't even get to turn 1.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing, Sam. Vincent's going to be in a nice spot if this continues to happen for one final time. But, I want to say you got to use patience there. But it just really what that was down to, a huge checkup with the front of the field. It kind of jam-packs farther into the field. And you got guys that are in that situation where they need to go and they feel like they have to make the moves, new tires, old tires. It's just a bad situation to be in, and that's what causes these incidents right here. And man, I would say use some patience, but I mean, it's a green-white checkered. I can't blame somebody for taking a chance.
Absolutely not. I mean, that's the biggest thing, is you see an opportunity and you have to go for it. You just cannot wait. If you wait, the next driver behind you is going to run you over. And patience was thrown out the window about, I would say, 30 laps ago. I think that's when patience was thrown out on that supposed money stop when we were taking green flag pit stops. That's when it was just race it to the end, put everything you can. And now that we're in overtime, final attempts, it's all or nothing. And that's why we're here at Las Vegas. Gambling certainly has been thrown out of a lot of our front drivers deciding to stay out, did not come into pit road. And Zach, it's paying out for themselves.
It really is. I think a few more guys are saying, why didn't I do that? That was the thing to do. I mean, I'm looking at a few names specifically that have really given up possibly a chance to get, a win. I mean, if you're looking at it too, I mean, Mark Whitley, if he stays out, he was on the fresher tires. He gets the reset here with all these guys, let the tires cool down a little bit. He could have been in a very good position. But at the same time, we see what's happened on these last 2 restarts, and it's going to just not, there was really no chance for racing yet. So we'll see. Oh, Jeffrey Stone. I thought he was about to have an excursion into the outer wall. He's going to keep it out of the wall again there, almost kind of like what he did with pit road, but he's in top 5, so he needs to keep that thing nice and clean here.
Yeah, and then some drivers just coming in to get some final repairs done before we go green once again. Tanner Johnson into pit road, get service done. Many others still in pit road as drivers that have already DNF'd. Jess Thordick, also that of Freeds, Starnes, as well as Kurik and Schmock was out in lap number 2 of the race. First incident of the day. As Zach, I mean, this season, it's a brand new season, a lot of new names, drivers trying to get their names out there in this league. So it's no surprise that everyone's trying to stretch and claw and get everything that they can each and every race. But at some point, I mean, if we're having this many yellows late in the race, you really can't show off what you have at all.
No, you cannot. It's just such a tough spot right here because if you're a driver, say, Cody Reed, Thomas Walter, Mark Whitley, you got those new tires, you got fresher tires also for Cody Reed. You want to be able to go up there and use them, try to get as many positions as possible. But with these quick yellows like that, it's almost just like getting hit in the back of the head saying, nope, yeah, just reset and try it again one more time. And now you only have one shot at it. With the first 2 going awry for these guys, we'll see if they can get it done and get a full 2 laps in here. But I'm sure Vincent Sora is saying, I mean, I'll take another one of these if I'm out front again, so he can get it done. But, man, a very wild ending to a long green flag run here down to these last couple yellows.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us on Freaky Fast Broadcasting. My name is Sam Dyer. With me is Zach Hall, Robert Moyer running productions here tonight for the NAISCC Race Car Graveyard Truck Series. Monday nights is where you get to see these guys race each and every weekend. It's been a pleasure to watch these guys race. This is only race number 4, as we're going to be going road course racing next week, going to that of Lime Rock Park for a 45 lap race that is going to be a long one, and we'll get to see the skills. Who is our road course ringer of this series? You'll find out next week. For all your coverage of the NAISCC Race Car Graveyard Truck Series, as well as their Cup Series on Saturday nights. Watch on Freaky Fast Broadcasting. Vincent Sora, Danny Cochran, Sean Utstull, Ethan Smith, and Jeffrey Stone, your top 5, getting ready to go green on your final attempt at overtime. If we get the white flag, we race it to the end, but if we get a yellow, the race ends with that yellow. As the pace truck pulls off our final attempt for the Cosmic Kandle 187, as they are green. Vincent Sora already taking off, and he can duck low if he wants, and there goes the 15 in front of the 2. Best launch you could have asked for, but they're already 3 wide, back in 12th. We'll see. We've already made it to turn 1. Can we make it to the white flag?
Oh, very close between Whitley and Collie there in the one machine. The one there gets by the 77. It's a stack up here as we're getting up the speed. Those new tires aren't able to show the speed they have, but down in the 3, we'll see it.
Oh, no,
contact between the teammates.
Vincent Sora gets bumped, holds on, sliding, wrecking, and it's Danny Cochran up front. Yellow flag before the white flag, and it's mayhem, flipping, carnage off of turn number 4. Oh, no. Teammates and Danny Cochran with the bump at the end in turn 3 makes the contact and will win the race, as on yellow flag or on the Cosmic Kandle white flag, as he gets to just coast it to the end of the race. But Zach, what in the world?
Well, as all you say up here, that was very spicy, and you're gonna see as we go back to the replay. I mean, man, oh man, Cochran just getting to the back bumper and sort of turning across too. I mean, just hard racing going on between the 2 teammates, and that is going to be an interesting conversation in Discord room, Sam.
Oh, it is, as you see him drifting as we're watching the replay. The driver's coming across the line currently, and Danny Cochran, oh my goodness, what a conversation you're going to have with him, Zach, as you see just madness following suit. And Vincent Sora almost saved it. It was the fact that he was drifting and came into the 0-0, and from there, no one was safe. You got fresh tires, old tires all packed in, and then they just start going. Collie found the wall, and he also saw Space Force. More drivers piling in. There goes Pooler, as well as Vincent Sora. They're just, tossing some trucks up in the air and having a nice pizza, it looks like, as they're spinning around. And that is the way that the Cosmic Kandle 187 at Las Vegas comes to a close.
I'd tell you what, Sam, that was the most trucks flipping and flying I've seen at Las Vegas ever. And definitely, I'd say what, there's going to be some interesting comments in their boxing room here.
Oh yeah, boxing ring of where they get to comment, discuss, and bicker is going to be full here tonight. But the driver that gets to have fun in victory lane, Danny Cochran, the 2, gets the win, gets it done. Sean Hutzler's going to get second. John Forbes is going to get third. I mean, that was not a top 3 I was expecting at all. John Forbes finally going to be able to get a top 5 finish for himself and continuing the streak of getting top 10 finishes for that of the 11. But the 2, Danny Cochran, becoming the first driver in the NAISCC Race Car Graveyard Truck Series to get multiple wins, with win number 2 here at Las Vegas, as well as the win that he got at Daytona. I mean, it just seems the trucks might be where Danny Cochran feels the most comfortable as he gets to burn it down.
Yeah, he's looking comfortable for sure. I'm sure going to be interesting words in his interview talking to him, Sam. But man, I can't wait to talk to him.
Well, as Danny gets to burn it down, we're going to step aside. When we come back, Zach Hall going to be giving the reports and talking to our top 3, that being Danny Cochran, Sean Hutzler, John Forbes, and for myself, I got to get out of here and get to a different broadcast. But tonight, madness, and honestly, next week, a madness as well, a road course racing. Excited for it, but we will be right back in just a few.
All right, we're back here, everybody, at Freaky Fast Broadcasting at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway for the Cosmic Candles Co 187. And what a race and what a wild finish it was. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in and enjoying the show here tonight at Freaky Fast Broadcasting. But let's hear from our drivers out there on the track who made all this action happen. Looks like we don't have our third place man of John Forbes, so we're going to move straight on to second here. Sean Huffsteller, and hear what he has to say about getting that second place finish here tonight. Hey, Sean, it's Zach up in the booth. You got a copy, man?
Yeah.
Hey, Sean, well, man, I tell you what, a stage win for yourself tonight, man, and then to come back to finish second, and even after an early contact there with another car getting loose on your outside, man, how does that feel to rebound to back to second there?
It feels great. I was just hoping for a top 10 to be lucky after the first part of the race went with me. You know, I was getting beaten, banged all over the place there early on in the race. So, yeah, I'm real happy with a second and stage win. That's great.
Yeah, definitely some good points for you tonight, man. Came in here tonight, 10th in the points. Next week we'll head off to Lime Rock. I mean, you know, tonight was very, very wild race. I mean, how was it out there in the truck? Because it just seems so hard to get away from the competition out there.
Yeah, it's pack racing. I mean, you get a group of trucks together and you just can't break away from them. I mean, you're tied to their bumper or they're tied to yours. I mean, it's rough racing.
Yeah, it definitely looked pretty rough for you guys at moments out there. It's very tough and hard racing at that, but some great moments too, man. Congrats on getting second here tonight, Sean. Before we let you go and celebrate this thing, to head off to Lime Rock Park next week. Anybody would send a shout to you, man?
Hey, shout out to you guys. You guys do a great job each and every week for us. And also the admin that put in all the work and the time to make this league as good as it is.
Well, Sean, we appreciate the kind words, buddy. Thank you for tuning in to our broadcast and also racing out on the racetrack. You always make it a fun time for us, man. So congrats on second. We'll catch you next time, man.
Thanks. You have a good night.
All right, everybody. That was Sean Huffstutler, your second place man in that 94 machine. What a night it was for him there, to able to bring home second with a good run. Now we'll move on over to our race winner, Danny Cochran. Maybe a little controversial race win too, because a little contact between him and his teammate coming down the end there to bring out the yellow. Let's hear from Danny himself about what transpired. Hey, Danny and Zach up in the booth. You got a copy, buddy?
I got you. Oh,
Well,
man.
bud, yeah, we'll get there. You know, coming in tonight, man, had that race win at Daytona, able to come out here and get another win, but I'm sure that one maybe is going to be one that is remembered for a long time. Buddy, take us through that ending there, because it was very wild from our standpoint.
Well, I was honestly on edge the whole restart there because I knew that, in all honesty, that probably wasn't going to finish under green flag conditions. But I was trying to judge when the 15 would go, and I was trying to get going with him. And then on the back stretch, I got that run. And what I was trying to do, I was trying to just shove him off into the corner a little bit faster than what he wanted to go. But unfortunately, I misjudged it, and I turned my teammate, and I feel really bad about that. And that's not how I wanted to win the race. Now we're going to go back to the shop, probably have $300,000 worth of damage, because I know the 0-1 was caught up in that as well. But yeah, I'm happy to win, but not like that.
Yeah, man, it's tough, man. You know, like you said, you tried to get him in there a little too deep. It seems like he was turning at that point, so just unstable that truck. Sending him around, like you said, don't want to win that way, but you do get the victory at the end of the day. It does still work in the stat column as a victory, man. You got two of them already through the first four. You know, me and Sam were talking about it up here. Does the truck really suit you, man? Because you seem to be flourishing pretty well in it so far.
Yeah, I think I'm doing all right in it so far. I got a win at Daytona, which, I mean, that's anybody's game. But here, had to go to the back early because there was a big checkup and a stack on that start there where we didn't go when the green flag came out, and I just didn't account for that, and I ended up packing the 14. Then had to come in, use a fast repair because I was down on damage, and it was just an uphill battle from that point. I mean, at one point, I believe the lowest I was scored was 31st, and then it was just trying to climb up from there. It was an uphill battle, that's for sure.
That it was an uphill battle, man. Well, next week you got the 2 wins. That helps for your case, build your resume through the regular season. But next week we got a tough one, man. You talk about going uphill. You will be going uphill there at the Lime Rock Park. How you feel about that going in there next week?
We're gonna give the good equipment to the 15 and the 01 next week because they're a lot better at turning right than I am. It's I'm just gonna be trying to survive next week, honestly, and try not to kill any more teammates in the process.
Well, man, we know you can do that for sure, buddy. You are a great driver out there, man. Congrats on the victory, Danny. Before we let you get out here and go celebrate with your friends and your teammates, man, anybody want to send a shout to?
First and foremost, Vincent, I am sorry. I did not mean to turn you like that at all. I wanted to race hard with you, but unfortunately, that didn't quite happen. And any of my friends or family that are watching Hot Laps Designs, Buddy's Custom Baits, and you guys for making a great show out of this and putting it out there on YouTube. Everybody that's watching, still trying to break some records. So we appreciate all that. And yeah, thanks again to you guys.
Well, thank you very much, Danny. It was fun to watch tonight, buddy. Congrats on the win, and we will catch you next week at Lime Rock Park, buddy.
Yes, sir. Thank you all.
All right, everybody. That was your first place, man, Danny Cochran. Now, just to change this up a little bit, I have got word from the officials here that the third place man is actually going to be Ethan Smith in the 00. It seems like the 11 and the 38 may have gotten penalties here. So we're going to do a quick interview here, possibly with the 00 here to hear what his thoughts are on getting third there in the closing moments. So let's hear from Ethan Smith in this 00. Hey, Ethan, it's Zach up in with you. Got a copy, buddy?
Yes, I do.
Well, I tell you what, man, we got word that it seems like you're going to come home in the third place position, man. Congrats on that. First off, tell us how you got that 00 there, because it was a climb tonight from where you started, buddy.
Yeah, I started 28th and I was pretty upset. I thought I was going to be a little bit faster in qualifying, but I just kept myself clean, and after the first stage, I was able to climb way up there. I want to say I got maybe like 5th or 6th, and I was able to ride it out up in the front up until the end here.
Yeah, man, you definitely climbed through the field here tonight. It's good to see you get this finish here, too, in this top 5. Had some really good runs going this season. It seems like some luck just hasn't went your way. But tonight, it seems like it's turned around a little bit, man. So congrats on that 5th. But, next week we're heading into another tough situation, Lime Rock Park. How do you feel about going into a road course, and do you feel like that place may suit you?
Road courses definitely do not suit me, but I have been working on it, so I'm planning on being able to compete, but mainly just stay alive. That'll be the main goal.
Well, man, you survived Las Vegas tonight. We'll see if you can get through Lime Rock Park the same way. It'll be fun to watch next week. Before we let you get out here, Ethan, and go celebrate this top 3, man, anybody want to send a shout to?
Just the admins for, inviting me and helping me get into this. This is really fun. I enjoy it. I love competing, and you guys for putting this on. It's awesome.
Well, Ethan, we appreciate it very much. Without you guys on the track, we couldn't put on this great show, buddy. So congrats on Thursday night. We'll catch you at Lime Rock next time, and hopefully another good run for the 00.
Thank you.
All right, everybody. That was your third place man, Ethan Smith in the 00, as he's going to come home unofficially third at the moment. It looks like that's what the results are going to be. So congrats to him. But what a night it was here for the Cosmic Kandles Co. 187 from the Las Vegas Motor Speedway for the NAISCC Truck Series. Brought to you by Race Car Graveyard, man. Just a wonderful night, but we'll go ahead and pull up our race results. Remember, these are unofficial, so I'll be saying it the way they are, but these results could all change due to some penalties coming in late in the going. But second's going to go to Danny or not second. The 2 truck of Danny Cochran is going to win the race. Second's going to go to Rashawn Huffstetler. Third's going to be John Forbes unofficially. Fourth is Christopher Norris unofficially. Fifth going to end up in Ethan Smith's hands, as it looks like it'll be third after the ending. But sixth is going to go to Mark Whitley. Seventh is Cody Reed. Eighth going to go to Preston Cope. Ninth, Cody Dorsey. 10th is going to be Aaron Kralik. 11th, Tanner Johnston. 12th, Gregory Shaw. 13th, Joshua Pike. 14th is Thomas Walter. 15th, Jeffrey Stone. 16th, Dakota Moniz. 17th, Alexander Light. 18th, Max Foner. 19th, Martin Morales Jr. 20th is going to go to Anthony Ludi. 21st, Tyler Dingler. 22nd, John McAdam. 23rd, Brandon Colley. 24th, Vincent Sora. 25th, Trevor Earhart. 26th, Jerry LeGrand. 27th, Kirk Schweizer. 28th, Thomas Green. 29th is Carl Fuller. 30th, going to go to Joshua Free. 31st, Jarrett Talmage. 32nd, Kyle Guildhouse. 33rd, Jesse Thornick. 34th, Justin Starnes. 35th, Christopher Curick. And rounding out your field in the 36th position is Robert Schmock in the 60 truck, as that is your race results here tonight from the NAISCC Truck Series, brought to you by Race Car Graveyard. And man, what a night it was, everybody. Thank you all for tuning in here. As always, Sam Dyer had to dip out to his next broadcast, and we're going to close it out right now as the Las Vegas Motor Speedway took a toll on a few drivers out there, but Danny Cochran's going to come out here, your race winner, as looking like we still got some people out there.
Hold
Make
on,
sure if you
Zach.
haven't yet, hit that thumbs up button, hit that subscribe button, that bell notification button,
Why is it
share it
not
all
showing?
to your friends, as we've had a fantastic night up here in the booth with this great race at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway for round number 4 of this truck series. And it's only going to continue to get more and more wild as we head off to Lime Rock Park next week. I cannot wait for that. I wish I was out in the truck sometimes for that moment, but I can't wait to also watch the action. So join us up here next week on Monday nights at 8:50 Eastern to tune in for some more truck series action. But we're going to send it up to our producer, Robert Moyer Jr., to close out tonight's broadcast.
All right, thank you, Zach. Like Zach said, Sam had to take off. I do apologize if you heard me talking in the background. I had to fix my audio there for a second, so as Zach was finishing things up. But wow, man, Zach, what a race! Man, the beginning of the race was a little rough for some drivers. Then it cleaned up and was looking really, really good out there. But again, this comes down to it, ladies and gentlemen. You know, you got old tires versus old tires. This stuff is going to happen. I don't care. Anybody can go back and watch this replay and argue with me all day they want. Happens at almost 97% of the tracks. You put old tires versus old tires, and the difference from old tires to new tires, it's just huge. And I get it that you're trying to get every position you can, but it also comes down to the race ethics of, you know, take your time. You don't got to go flying through the field. You are faster than everybody else. But again, when you only got a couple more laps to go, Zach, you know, what are you going to do? I mean, you and Sam talked about it. You got to get everything that you can when you got 3 laps or 4 laps or 5 laps to go. So I'm sure, like you guys said earlier, this will all get cleaned up, you know, in the next coming weeks. But with that being said, I'm not gonna go on a rampage on about it. But I do appreciate everybody out there on YouTube who tuned in here tonight. You know what to do. If you did like this stream, hey, that's awesome. Thank you. Hit that like button and subscribe button if this is your first time here at Freaky Fast Broadcasting. But you know, if you didn't like it, hey, there is a thumbs down button. We don't get mad about that. And let us know what we can improve on and what we can do to make your entertainment a little bit better out there on the Freaky Fast side of things, and we'll let the leagues deal with their thing. But, you know, with that being said, like you said, now we are heading to Lime Rock next week. Now, we've never seen a truck race at Lime Rock. We've never called a race at Lime Rock, so this should be very, very, very interesting. It's a course that is basically one of them tracks in iRacing that you get at the beginning of the levels as you work your way up through the rankings. So you drive a lot of Mazdas there and things like that. Now, I do know the track was upgraded with new graphics and new observations on it and everything, so to make it look more realistic today. So make sure you tune in next Monday at 8:50 here, you know, with the NAISCC Truck Series, and see how they navigate around that track. It's going to be very, very fun. But with that being said, our next televised broadcast will be tomorrow night with Underdog Racing League with Carl and Zach Hall calling all the action tomorrow night. So if you're free, come on out, say hi, hit the like button, subscribe button. You can share it to your friends and family or your favorite social media platform. And if you're going back and watching this replay, make sure you do the same. Hit the like and share it to your favorite social media platform of your choosing. But with that being said, Sam dipped out already. Me and Zach are going to leave here at Sin City out here at Las Vegas. Let everything here. Off we go to Lime Rock next week. But hopefully we'll catch everybody tomorrow. Have a great day tomorrow, and hopefully we catch you tomorrow night. But until then, we want to say to everybody out there, God bless. Love yous all. Peace out.